Again, redirected to Google Images.
I'm not sure why. What is the URL for the stream? It is this.
Uh,
It is different.
oh. Oh, yes, low latency. Yes, like a few seconds. Awesome. So I'm gonna say of course he isn't.
Force who isn't what?
There isn't around.
Force who.
Ooh, I like the chat here.
And if I go to live, the chat will still be there. It's just in a very strange spot. Because.
Hello, Dom.
Dom?
Hello. So Dom, have you read the things?
Okay, issue. I can't actually see chat while I'm looking at the PDF. So if
Okay.
someone says something important, please tell me.
Okay, yeah. So I'm looking here at the stream and the chat. Okay, so I guess we're gonna start. I'm guessing that you don't want to start with yours right now.
I have all of these in the order that you told me. So
Let's go over. Let's go over yours maybe first.
okay.
Now, I definitely think, Dom, that it would have been better if you read them first, so like you can kind of have your own impressions. But I can understand if it's not, if it's
I
wasn't
mean,
possible.
I guess people wouldn't really have a reason to join the live stream if they already read the stories.
I guess so. Yeah, some people would only like read them along with us, I guess technically, and others would want to just see the reactions.
There's definitely a split there. Okay, so
Yeah.
I guess you just want me to read through this?
I suppose so.
All right.
Uh, yeah.
I did have automatic numbering on, so very easy to reference a specific line. Almost
I
200.
see. I was
So,
wondering why it was formatted like a piece of code.
okay. Also, I didn't proofread the story either.
Oh, yeah, that's why there were a few lines there. You'll see my reaction, of course. But there was a. You'll see. You'll. There was at least one sentence,
Okay.
I think.
I don't know what it takes to be a leader. Sure, to lead people is to guide them in the right direction, but then, what is the right direction? Most people would be content using their own ideas of what it means to go in the right direction and move on with their lives, but unfortunately, I am not most people. More accurately, I am not like the rest of my peers, despite how well I get along with them. No, because to be like them, I have to think the way they do. I can't say I do. I can say that I don't, simply because if I thought the way they do, I would find a point along my path of logic where I was simply content with the conclusion I reach. I, however, am never satisfied until I get to the last point that I possibly can, even if it kills me. So just in that first paragraph, what do you think about it? Because
Uh,
I
well, I think that is quite a nice idea, like a philosophical sort of paragraph, and I definitely notice how you decided to flesh out my character more from the last story. Uh,
yeah,
it's definitely, I think it's good characterization
but
as
do
long
you
as
think it reflects you? Because that's what I tried
uh
to do.
well, the not being like the rest of my peers, I think definitely. Although like I'm always less sure of things like these because everyone on the internet says, "Oh, I'm different," but I think that it is quite fitting.
All right. But to what brought me to be this way? Is it because, unlike the majority of my peers, I was not born and raised in America? Or is it a difference in personality that people of all origin have? I suppose that's far as I'll ever get down that path of knowledge, but I won't ever be satisfied with that. The only thing I can that can distract me from one path of learning is another. My thirst for the truth is only met with the satisfaction of getting closer. While it may seem fruitless, it all feels worth it when I take a look back at how far I've come. That feeling of accomplishment doesn't leave once I'm over the mountain that I've chosen to cross. Instead, it grows behind me with every step I take. I suppose, however, that I should stop reflecting upon myself and get back to what I was doing. There's a path that I have chosen to walk that I feel will reveal something dark. It just seems wrong. Back in February, I acted on a group of reports of missing person. Oh, fuck. I acted on a group of reports of missing person reports.
Yeah, that was one.
Where the likely culprit was a cave on the Pacific coast. Instead of finding out the whereabouts of the missing persons, we instead found a portal. A portal to a world that's so insane I still have a hard time convincing myself it was real, and yet... Pokemon. We went to the world of Pokemon, and through the trials and tribulations that went along with our adventure, we somehow ended up getting both alive and intact, except for one. While he's still with us, Enternode will never be the same. I suppose that little Eevee that jumped through the portal with us could be considered another casualty. I don't think it's very unhappy. I really should have put a semicolon here. I really don't think it's very unhappy living here, so long as we do a good enough job of hiding it. Enternode, on the other hand, despite being as human as the rest of us going in through the portal, he didn't come out the other end that way. While my mind has been focused on that as a takeaway for all these months, something deep in my subconsciousness has irked me that there was something I had forgotten, and as of 2 days ago, I have finally remembered. We never found the missing people. So, my idea for this story was originally like, a few months after I wrote Pokemania, I actually remembered that like the whole missing people reports was just never addressed at the end of the story.
Oh.
And I'm like, I really should do something with that. Because it felt like wasted potential, and there, I have it. Stop it!
What?
I'm getting DM'd. Do not disturb.
Do you have streamer mode enabled?
No, I don't. Hold up. Streamer mode on. There we go. So I decided to make a little subplot that's actually going to transfer like in future stories as well as this one.
Yeah, after I read the story, I figured that there's probably going to be sequels that address the plot elements of the story, because the story itself didn't really address them much.
Funny. It was meant to address plot points, and then doesn't address them.
Well, it addresses some plot points, like brings forward others, but then leaves many of them in place where I assume other stories would later come to pick them up.
Yes. I've actually been planning the sequel to this story for a while now. So
I see.
But I didn't
Makes sense.
But I didn't want to write that one before writing this one, and that one's going to take a while.
I assume you also didn't want to write me in it.
For most people, it is reasonable to assume that, just like us, that the missing people were transformed into Pokemon and as such cannot be found. However, I am not most people, and I am not satisfied with that answer. After all, Dark did allude to others trying to trespass into the cave, though I'm not sure how many he meant. Did he mean all 16 people that were supposedly missing? Which is, by the way, this is a completely arbitrary number.
I see.
These reports bothered me, however. Who filed them, and why did we get a hold of them? I wasn't even the one who got them, and neither was Shade, my second in command. No, it was Kitty of all people that had them. I don't really understand. I also didn't recognize any of the people that were supposedly missing. Sure, with a town that must have at least 12,000 people, I can't know everyone, but the heist headquarters was less than 15 minutes away from the cave. How can I not recognize the last names of a single person? I needed answers. What?
I think Dom is like really confused right now because he also, I think he hadn't read Pokemania.
Yeah, you still haven't. He still hasn't read it.
So, Dom, if you have any comments or questions, just plop them down in the chat.
I needed answers. I had Shade using the connections that he has somehow to look up information about these missing people. The result? Lost, the police department knows nothing about these reports. Even more, the clerk that took a look at them went so far as to call them fake. I have no reason to doubt Shade here, nor the clerk, but could it really be possible that Kitty handed me forged missing persons reports? Where did she get them from? Did she make them? I don't recognize any of the handwriting as being hers. All of this thinking, however, is starting to wear on me, and it's getting late. I'll think this over tomorrow. So,
all right.
Yep, we've got that first. It's like I have chapters, except I didn't label them as chapters.
Yeah, I kind of figured it kind of looked that way.
But the story is less than 10 pages, so this is basically like a chapter, except it takes us. It like takes place over the span of 24 hours.
Makes sense. This message is held for review. Dominic Conciatori, FUC. Show hide.
Oh right, that you're a chat mod. I forgot.
Yeah.
Nice. So, what do you think will happen? Well, Loss has already read the story.
Yeah, Dom, what do you
Tom, what do you think
is gonna happen? Do you think answers will come? That was like it was so. I did have some sort of. Oh, hello. Oh, he's read yours, so he's allowed to stay for this one. Yeah, but like when I read it, I'm like, I was conflicted because first of all, I wanted answers to like what was going on and who was it, and I didn't get them. But that was a very effective ending.
Anyway, it's not unlikely to be awake sooner than everyone else, but it also gets a bit lonely. After all, there's no one to talk to, unless you feel like waking people up. I'm still a bit tired, but I might as well continue on what I was thinking about last night, as it's still fresh in my head. This handwriting bothers me very much. It bothers me, not because I know it isn't Kitty's, but because I know I've seen it before. I just can't remember. It's like a mosquito that won't stop biting you no matter your attempts to kill it. Every time it gets more and more annoying, every time you try. I'm currently in the main office. Adjacent to the locker room, it contains all of the documents that go in and out of this place. I want to get another good look at these documents. I keep all of the documents in... Why do I use that word so much? I use documents 3 times in 3 lines.
Yes.
I keep all the documents in folders that relate to who they're relevant to. The missing person reports, for example, are under Kitty's file because that's where I got them from. While most people would organize by date, it helps to do so as a subsystem of a more overarching system. And besides, most things that are related end up being filed in the same place anyway. After searching through her file, I pull out what I thought were the missing person reports. Actually, this was meant to be a folder. However, they were a collection of letters. I'm not one to read someone else's mail, so I'm just going to... Oh? What's gonna happen? I can't believe that I just caught a glimpse of the letter of... That I just caught a glimpse of...
Oh.
I
don't even think I noticed that.
The letter in front. The handwriting. It's the same. I can't believe it. Surely. This could be the vital piece of evidence I need to progress down this line of logic. I have to reach the end, but should I really be... Yeah, I don't care, I'm reading this. Would you really do that?
In my video, I said this line. I want to think that I wouldn't do this. All right, Orphan. Yes, but thank you for dropping in. Yeah, I'm like, I hope I wouldn't. I don't think I would, but who knows?
Who knows? In the moment, you know.
Yeah.
To my lovely new servant, I have someone important to you. Lucky for you, however, there's something you could do for me to guarantee her safety. Spill the beans and I'll be spilling guts, and it won't just be her. Meet me by the cave and we'll talk business. Don't worry. I have some things you can use to help you on this. Just don't fuck this up. You only get one chance. The Phantom. Yeah, don't fuck this up.
uh, yeah. When that random swear appeared in this otherwise formal letter, I'm like, come on.
I mean, it was intentional, but
Yes, I know, but in my opinion, it didn't really fit. And this is funny because of another story that I've read, but I'm not gonna spoil anything for you.
Alright. Attached to the letter is an exotic-looking Queen of Spades card, except it's stapled upside down. I've never seen a playing card that's so fancy. The text is a bit faded, however, and I can't read what it says. The letter is dated the 25th of January. Do you know what this card is, by the way?
Queen of Spades?
No, this is the High Priestess.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I know that there's no Queen of Spades card in tarot cards, but when I read that, I'm like, I knew that this probably was a reference to a card, but I didn't really know which one. So
It's okay. More specifically, it's the reversed High Priestess. So
a low priestess?
a high Priestess. Hello, Priestess.
I mean, low.
Nice. I take a I take a picture of the letter with my phone and put it back before anyone knows I've read it. I have to know who the hell wrote this, and who's been kidnapped as a result. But who? There's no photo attached, so I have no way of knowing who was kidnapped at the time. I also had to particularly make sure I include as little profanity as from your perspective as possible. But of course, you
Yeah.
know, who the hell? I think you would still say
Yeah.
something like this. All right.
Yeah.
Just as I walk outside the main office, I hear that someone's arriving in the driveway. After looking out the window, I notice that the car is Orphan's white and dirty shitmobile. Hey, that's what he calls it. With the music man himself in tow, along with Enternode. If I were to guess, they're returning from some sort of mission from for the Startfresh Zoo, though he never used to be up at 8:30. Then again, he never used to walk on four legs, eat out of a dog bowl, and rub his head against you until you put him to sleep. But everyone goes through changes. Character development.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You got 4 legs now.
Don't you remember what happened in Pokemania?
And, I do, of course.
Well, yeah, I have 4 legs now.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's a great character development.
It's like a character development. Do you remember Lore Jam 3? Character development is when your character starts off one way and ends another way. I had 2 legs, but now I have 4.
Yes. I should have just that's automatically gets full points for character development. I mean, it's not the same as it started.
You develop your character. After Orphan gets to the door, I motion for him to sit down. I need to talk to him about this, but not directly. Hey, Orphan, do you remember that cave expedition that happened 6 months ago? After I mention that, Enternode decides he wants to stick around, so naturally he gets on my lap and demands I pet him, using body language, of course, but we can usually tell what he wants at this point.
Hence the famous quote, "If you were to pet me, would you scratch me behind my ears or on the top of my head?"
You mean the one that Orphan mentioned towards Enternode, who's having his head aggressively rubbed by the will of my right hand. Of course he is enjoying it just as ever. Yep. Yes, Orphan, I wanted to talk about Kitty during the whole idea. Orphan grunts. Loss, do you really have to keep bringing her up? Right. They broke up a few months ago, but I didn't forget that. Yeah, but did she start acting strange around that time? Like, was she worried about something? After bringing that up, Enternode started looking over at me. He attempts to say something, but all I can hear him is chanting Sylveon over and over again. Orphan waits for him to stop before answering. What do you think I tried to tell you?
Now, that would depend on whether you know anything about these kidnappings. If you don't, then it would just be about the whole incident that happened.
You remember what happened at the end of Pokemania, right?
Yeah, where you told Kitty not to tell.
That's okay. No, I agreed not to tell. That was kind of the point.
Yeah.
So I know that But obviously I'm trying to say something. Of course I'm alluding to something, but I don't want to outright say it. Orphan waits for him to stop before answering. Yeah, she got really homesick before we went. After that, she started getting really dodgy and evasive towards me. That's one of the reasons why I decided to break up with her. I began to wonder if all of this made Kitty stressed out so much that she repelled Orphan away from her. If so, that would be immensely tragic. I can't really think of any other reason Orphan would break up with her anyway. Those two were inseparable before the cave incident. I can't think of any other reason. Or nothing else. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely none at all. Although, how would Orphan know?
Orphan doesn't know by this point. I can go ahead and just tell you that.
Alright.
But I suppose that's enough for now. I don't want to make Orphan talk about it more than he needs to. Okay, yeah, okay, thanks, Orphan. One more thing, though. Can you let Shady know he's holding down the fort for tonight? Orphan appears a little surprised, but then just said, yeah, sure. He then walks off to go to inform him. I motion for Antonio to leave my lap, to which he does, and so walks off, likely to get to someone else to pet him. I sometimes wonder if his physical change has had an effect on his mental state. Which is a very interesting question. And then there's this line, the magic line 126.
Oh, yes. I thought when I read this line and then the next page, the line on the next page, I'm like, okay, are you referencing Python here?
But in any case...
I'm missing a reference. Oh, should I fill him in? Or is he better off not knowing? Odom says, I am missing a reference, so can Lars fill me in on that?
Okay, you need to read Pokemania. That is a huge, huge spoiler.
Yeah.
But in any case, I decided on my next move. I want to go visit Kitty's house and see who went missing. I don't want to ask Kitty directly, as revealing that I'm onto her might put her in danger. New line. The bus ride here wasn't particularly interesting. It seems that for some reason I can never really make good small talk with strangers. I suppose it's for the best though, low profile and all. Actually, the reason why I didn't write about the bus ride there is because I just wanted to write less.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Just outright. I could have written more philosophical bullshit, which is what I planned on doing, but this was really close to the deadline. I'm like, I just want this over with. You remember that period of time was really busy for me, right?
Yes.
Because I had 2 exams coming up.
So that means that if you had more time, you would fill in more details, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. But I guess this one isn't actually essential to the story at all, and it does almost kind of develop my character.
My mind was on going over what to say when I get there. After all, I didn't tell anyone I was coming. The house might be completely empty for all I know, but it doesn't matter. I'm almost here. I remember the last time I was here to pick up Kitty back when she joined up with us. It was a bit after most people had already joined, but she decided to for private reasons. I think it was because she thought Orphan was cute, but there might be a legitimate reason that I don't know about. If I remember correctly, unlike half the permanent members of Heist, her parents weren't killed back in Blood Tuesday or anything dramatic like that. At least I hope not. In the midst of all of this thinking, I failed to realize that I'm already at the doorstep of Kitty's parents. As such, I knock and hope for a response. The door opens slowly. Hey. Oh! After the man, on the other hand, had realized who was knocking, he seemed both surprised and nervous about who he found. I haven't seen you in a while, Aswan. Okay, I was going to reference this character by name. I didn't know the name of Kitty's dad, though. And
oh.
I didn't want to just say his name was Chris or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Or I could have said his name was Dom, but
no.
But Dom is actually a character in a later story, so I can't do that.
Okay. Well, I was just telling Dom about how he was a character in Pokemania.
Dom isn't a character in Pokemania.
What are you talking about? That part where he comes into the story and then you and Orphan and him have a threesome?
Wait, what? I don't remember writing this. I don't remember writing any of this. It's Kevin.
Okay.
Wait a minute, isn't that the name of Pending's dad?
I don't know. It's certainly not. It's
It's so.
Wait, what?
Oh, this is okay. He's a little behind. He's talking about how I said uh Dom was Kitty's dad.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, yeah, Dom. I'm not BSing. Internet just forgot that that part was in the story.
I haven't seen you in a while either. Nice to see you're still well. I'm not sure if well is the most appropriate thing to describe Kitty's dad right now. A terrible 5 o'clock shadow, a worn nightgown, and bloodshot eyes. Damn it! This isn't parallel structure. Ah.
I don't think this actually matters that much here because something, something, and something tell horror stories, and the age just depends on the thing.
Not A. Okay.
I don't
Tells
think
horror
that's
stories of his mental state. On the other hand, cheering him up wouldn't be such a bad idea. Well, come on in. I didn't tidy the place since you didn't warn me you were coming. Have a seat. He was blatantly distressed, though I have an idea as to why. I waste no time in bringing out my phone to show him the letter. Do you know of anyone that's gone missing about 6 months ago? As soon as I say that, he frantically snacks the phone and reads over the letter. As soon as he reaches the end, he freezes in shock. After a while, he stutters out "I can't believe." While I could guess what he had to say, I decided to probe him for more details. Well, it's bad enough that her mother got kidnapped, but to be blackmailed over it? I can't imagine what pain she's going through. I can't either. I figured it had to be someone close to her, though it being her mother is probably a bit much to handle. No wonder she's felt so stressed. Although I wish she somehow told me. But there's only one thing left to do now. Hey, I don't know if this is a promise I can keep, but I really do want to help. If there's anything you know about where she's at, I'd love to hear it. If we can figure out exactly where she is, I might be able to hoist a surprise to raid and rescue her. He says nothing. Instead, he motions me into a back room. He walks over and slowly opens the safe. Not a single word is uttered. The clicking of the inner machinations of the safe's lock is the only thing making a sound. After what seems like forever, though, he finally gets it open and hands me an envelope. Don't read this until you get home. In your office, in the safest place you possibly can. Plot hole, how does he know that he has an office?
Yeah. Also, I thought that if he can't tell if he can't tell Lasmalon what's going on, it means like maybe someone's eavesdropping. But if someone's eavesdropping, they're gonna know that I have that thing.
Don't even act like you have it, trust me. He sounds quite serious. I'm only naturally inclined to reassure him that I will do as he asked. Go then, please. Go then. Go and save her, please. This desperate plea for help is the last thing I hear before rushing over to catch the next bus. And then suddenly, a lot of hours pass.
What do you mean?
Okay, think of it like okay. The beginning of this section took place in the morning, and this takes place at night.
Oh.
I didn't know how to address that, but it just needed to happen. The air is cold. My skin is cold. My heart, yeah, it's pretty cold. My passion, however, burns like the devil on the most hateful night. I am determined more than ever to see that this line of logic comes to its rightful conclusion. I must find out who this kidnapper is. Is the most obvious choice BMG? Or is it someone else? I can't think of any other possibility, but I must know where she is, and I must bust her out alive. Must bust. These late night walks are cold and ominous, but I can't bring myself to even pay attention to the atmosphere around me. All I care about is her. I want to help her no matter the cost. Onward I march. I march to the office where I plan on meeting up with the highest ups of Heist to finally reveal the truth. To stage an attack like none other. To finally bring justice to... I believe you have something that belongs to me, Lasmalon. I turn around to see a figure in a dark trench coat. They're hiding their voice, but it sounds familiar nonetheless. I face the figure with the bravest look I can, and what would that be? After I finish asking that question, I note him pull something out of his coat. Before I could react, I hear a loud explosion as I'm forced to the ground. A deep pain fills my heart as I can see his blood splattering out of it. The figure leans over to me and whispers in my ear, "Your life." Your life is mine. So, what do you think happened?
Well, I said that the options for like the whatever person was like doing things
The
could be
Phantom.
Shade, because Shade technically stayed behind when we went through that adventure. And then I thought Kitty and Orphan would could have been that, but then I realized that when you said sorry for doing something to a character, it was for killing me. So that doesn't really. So I mean, doesn't really have any reason. I don't really have any reason to suspect them much.
Sorry, lost. You're dead now.
Or I'm alive and you're gonna do everything that every single story does that wants to go on. So this character who you thought was dead, he's actually alive now. Now we can continue.
The stream's current bitrate, 7932 kilobits per second, is higher than the recommended bitrate. We recommend that you use a stream bitrate of 4500 kilobits per second. But is my stream too high quality? Okay. Thanks, YouTube. So, someone is the Phantom, obviously.
Yes.
So who
Yes,
do you
and
think it is?
also, well, I mean, I think it would provide for an interesting story. Actually, finding out not just finding out who it is, but having actually people act against them.
Yeah, that's actually what's going to happen in the sequel to this. It's going
Yeah.
to shit's going to get fucked.
Yeah, Shade's my guess if we include like only characters from this story. Like this story never mentioned Torm. I guess it mentioned BMG, but like that's just one passing reference. That
This story didn't mention Torm, but the previous one did.
yeah. So he could be the Phantom, but in that case, I guess I can see why this story didn't really want to give answers to that.
Also, the story mentions BMG, so it could just be them. But
Maybe BMG allied with Torm to have like the double villain.
I mean, think about the motivations for this. Like, if you go back to the letter,
I think that Kitty, he wanted Kitty to spy on us and our organization. And would BMG know who we are, even?
well, okay.
So apparently Kitty needed to do something, and she got one chance.
So there's meat by the cave, so obviously the cave is involved.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's why Kitty put in the fake reports, because she wanted us to go there to the cave.
Yes.
And Torm sucks, I agree, Dom. But then at the cave we met those Pokemon dudes.
Okay. There is an actual task that Kitty was meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that task was?
Well, if she wanted to go to the caves,
Well,
did she? Why did she need those caves? Did someone live there?
the caves this is the same cave that the cave incident that Pokemania takes place in. The one
But Kitty apparently didn't know that. Because she'd probably accommodate for that. And maybe Torm does live in a cave, like Pending suggested, and then BMG sent us to kill Torm, or something like that.
Interesting.
That's probably not where it's going.
Or think back to what Kitty did in Pokemania. What did she do? She did something very important.
But how would okay, are you talking about the obvious or something that's subtle?
I mean, okay, she did a couple of very important things. But
so this it's hard. Well, I mean, the Eevee child didn't appear in this story.
The Eevee child was actually mentioned.
Yes, it was mentioned, but didn't no one actually saw that character.
Mm-hmm. But they're still around.
Yeah, okay. Hmm.
I mean, there are conclusions to draw from this that kind of like predict what's going to be revealed in the next story, but or maybe like some next story. Anyway, moving on. The Last War of Good versus Evil by Las Melon. Okay.
Yeah, I did this like after I finished mine. I'm like, okay, Kitty, if you aren't gonna reveal them immediately, then I'm just gonna make some last melon, ass melon, one really quick.
The world was in chaos for thousands and thousands of years. It was submerged in war as the sides of good and evil clashed furiously, none subduing the other. They threw all their powers at bringing each other down, locked in a ferocious stalemate. I, as the great king of good, directed all of my forces into making sure that the Dark Lord Zorloth and his forces of shadow did not triumph over the free wills of the good people, and did not rule in a cruel reign, destroying whatever good remained on this planet. Lots of good versus evil. Roll credits. Evil was relentless. Not only did who is Zorloth? What is that name a reference to something, or is it just
No, it's not.
just
an evil name.
evil name? Fight back just as strenuously, but he unleashed upon us, soldiers of peace, the appalling executioners of dark magic, who wreaked havoc upon all lands that they marched through. Our morals were shattered by the display of the unmistakable evil of darkness, as well as its omnipotent reach. We took cover in the last stronghold of our enemy had not yet managed to breach, and built up our strength. Once we were powerful enough to once again resist the immense armies of the evil side, I ordered all of our men to take up arms and strike back against the wicked shadows. We successfully recaptured cities upon cities, freeing their peaceful inhabitants from the murderous grasp of the tyrannous Dark Lord. Triumphant, we pushed the evildoers back into their home base. One last battle and the war would be won. However, Zorloth unleashed upon us hell that we did not prepare for. This is all so vague, and I have a feeling that this is intentional. Oh, fuck, what's coming? Or is the fact that I just said coming going to...
What? I don't understand.
Come... Terrifying tyrant, treacherous Dark Lord, standing tall amidst the remains of his troops, the mighty conjurer Zorloth harnessed the powers of the darkest magic available to the world, and with the newly found power, he shattered our resistance into pieces. Our men fell, hundreds at a time, before his gruesome display of torment, and any hopes of bringing the monster down he flat before our feet. I really hate the structure of the sentence right here. I really, really hate it.
Why?
Our men fell hundreds at a time, and any hopes of bringing the monster down fell flat before our feet. Okay, this sentence is fine, but it can't stand on its own. It needs, like... I don't feel like this relates to this.
I think, how does that not relate to that?
Because it doesn't really flow, whatever.
Alright, well, what? Yeah, I wrote this in, like, what?
And
less than 30 minutes?
And so the ever-potent Zorloth towered above my bleeding, exhausted body, taunting me about my immeasurable failure. You fool, you tried to resist me, not realizing I am the ultimate bringer of destruction, the stronghold of evil, the essence of darkness, the one and only Aatrox. None who stand up to me may survive, you pitiful mortal. Die now and embrace your own powerlessness and your destruction. And with those words, Zorloth raised his mace to deliver the killing blow. Charlie, dinner is ready. What? A voice rang out over the blood-soaked field. Coming, Mom, Zorloth shouted back, dropped his weapons hastily, abandoned the battlefield. and I went home. The end. Any secrets? No. Nope. Okay, that's it.
This was just to annoy you.
Alright.
The first page, or I guess the second page technically, was all like epic in a cliche cheesy way as much as I could make it.
We have the accompanying story to Hero's Journey.
Sorry?
We have the accompanying story to A Hero's Journey.
I mean, it's not really just the hero in this story. I mean, in fact, the hero.
I mean, the point of a hero is that they go through adversity, right?
Yeah.
So we have a hero's journey.
If this third page, if I ended that song with just like Alex's masterpiece playing in the background.
Nice, absolutely brilliant. Did I break this? What the fuck? I'm frustrated. There we go. Okay, so I gotta pee.
Alright.
Be right back.
So I guess I'll be back too.
Hello. Alright.
I'm back.
Yep, I'm back too. So how was your pee? Did you die?
What?
Did you die?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously. Oops. Alright, now we have the oh dear, it's only one page. Wait a minute, who wrote this?
Dom.
Okay, Dom wrote this. I thought this was Derry. I'm like, oh fuck, did he really?
Oh.
He didn't have me review it like he suggested.
Okay. Well, at least it's the first impressions.
Yeah, okay. It started all at night. I had a strange dream. It seemed like a normal dream, at least normal for me. Oh my god, no.
This is the first story I read.
The dream started with me walking down the street, as I usually do on evenings. But something was off. Oh no! Stop! The comma splices are so bad! There was a man in a side alley shuffling a deck of cards and starts drawing them. He took out a pen and paper and started drawing them.
Okay. You stole that from my video.
I didn't see your video yet.
I know.
And suddenly I couldn't make out most of the cards, but I could see a few. There was a card labeled the Fool, the Sun, Death, the Emperor, and the Devil. While the man drew the last card, I saw him shudder, look at me, and say, "I'm sorry for what's to come." I woke up only to find my TV set on. I could tell due to the high-pitched rings that comes with these CRT TVs when they're powered on. I go to the living room to check my TV and my sanity. I turned the corner to see the TV on a pure static screen. I walked over to turn it off. I hit the switch. It turned off. Normal, right? Normal, right? The TV turned itself back on. Red as it turned around without any static on screen this time. Strange, I thought to myself. I turned it off again, and it stayed off this time. I went back to sleep, and the rest of the night went by uneventful. I woke up in the morning, went to the kitchen to find that my TV was in fact powered on again. Turned the static. Again, great, my house is haunted. I went to unplug the TV, only for it to remain on. Now I need an exorcist. I noticed a figure starting to emerge from the static. Like that Ring movie Grudge thing. What?
I don't know, it's some sort of reference, I guess.
As the static became red, a black ooze emerged from the TV and it reached out towards me. I screamed, even though I know I couldn't be heard. It's all over. This is it. This is where I die, I thought. And I was right. Well, this should have been just the last sentence right here. That's it. That's it. This is where I die.
I was right. Like, it's like yours. It ends like yours.
That would have been perfect.
Yes.
The ooze conformed around me, consuming me. Wait a minute. A black ooze forming around someone, covering them. I see where I've watched enough hentai to see where this is going.
I haven't, so I take pride in not knowing what's going on.
I felt my limbs dissolve away. The pain was unbearable until I couldn't feel anything anymore. It made its way to my head and I faded out, never to be remembered. And then he's transported inside of the TV, where he turns into a black rubber sex doll to be played with for all of eternity. Is Tom still here?
No, he had to go.
But
But when he watches this, when he comes after like the stream, and he's probably gonna come and watch this. And I was right.
And I was right. Ah, lovely. Lovely little story. Too bad it sucks.
That's
oh dear God. We have 41, 13, 11, 47, and 2. All right. So. Day 1. Warning. Oxygen depleting. Warning. Oxygen depleting. Warning. Oxygen. Huh? What happened? I thought as I looked around the dark slip. Where's everyone? What's with the alarms? I try to get up off the floor, but my leg is torn up like a rag doll. I put on my... This analogy, this simile doesn't make sense. Why would a rag doll have a torn up leg?
I guess it's like he's trying to make it look like it's like all
Flaccid?
flabby like a rag doll since it's torn up. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's torn up like whatever.
Yeah, I think everything that you need to know is that after I've read Orphan's story, I was done for the night.
I put on my spacesuit as quickly as I could, took off my shirt to stop the bleeding in my leg, and limped my way towards the door. As I opened the door, I almost immediately got sucked into the dark midnight of space, but I was barely able to hold on to the door. No! This is not physically possible! This is not physically possible! I call bullshit!
Well, what exactly about?
Okay, if you're getting sucked into the vacuum of space, you cannot just hold on to something. You are going to be pulled so hard that your arm is going to be ripped off from your upper torso.
Okay, so now that you mentioned that, there's a gift coming for you.
Oh boy.
I expect you to read it and just go like, no!
I had to make my way to the controls to shut the door, but oh god. I looked around the room and tried to find something useful to grab. I noticed some burnt objects, food flying from the abyss, and a couple handles to make it to the pilot seat. The pull from space was so strong it felt like it was going to rip me in half. You should already be ripped in half!
My orphan is Superman.
I reach out for a storage handle to try and make my way towards the ship controls. My arms are just long enough to grab onto the storage handle. This should be semicolon. Wait, hold up. The cabinets were on auto lock mode because of the hole in the ship, so I was able to stay on without the storage unit open. The pull of space felt even stronger now that I was completely out of my quarters. The handle is going to break off if I don't try and grab onto something else. Is he climbing his fucking way through his space station while he's being pulled by the vacuum of motherfucking space?
Apparently.
How? He doesn't even explicitly state that he's actually grabbing onto things. It's just, we're expected to kind of figure it out. Like, come on, man!
Yeah.
Come on.
He reaches out for a storage handle. It doesn't say that he grabs.
Yeah. There's a hole where a storage cabinet used to be. It seems it got sucked out from the strong space pull, but there are some corners in the hole that I can grab onto. I grab onto the corner. This is clearly not going to last long. I can feel my hands quickly slipping from the ledge. You should be fucking dead. The pilot's seat might just be in reach. I don't know if it is, but it might be in reach. I know my spaceship like the fucking back of my hand, but it might be in reach. I have to go for it. I bring my left leg up to the corner of the hole and jump from the storage. No! No! I was getting sucked into space. I had one option left. I had to close the door with the button next to it before I get sucked in. Trying to press the button in these conditions is pretty much suicide, but what other choice do I have? Wait, hold the fuck on. What? What is going on?
So, apparently there's a button there, right next to the door, and he didn't use it. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go climb my way over to the pilot controls. This button right next to me, nah.
He jumped while being pulled by the vacuum of space! This guy is a dipshit!
That's not very smart.
I turn my head to look behind me and angle my leg towards the button. Every second I get closer. How big is your spaceship? How far did you climb that it's taking you seconds to fly out? It should be milliseconds.
I'm glad that you're already off the rails.
Come on. I know this is this is Orphan, isn't it?
Yeah.
This has to be Orphan.
Yeah, it wasn't the title.
I'm going too fast. No fucking shit. I barely managed to hit the button with my foot, but the impact was so strong and so fast that I sprained my ankle and broke the switch, leaving the airlock shut forever. I immediately dropped to the ground and felt very dizzy. I passed out like a puppy after a long walk. You got knocked out like a bitch that got slapped.
Yeah, he decided to use dog similes after his last one in the last story.
It's just like, I got my fucking head slammed into the floor, but I'm just gonna peacefully fall asleep like a puppy after a long walk. Now, okay, I do remember Orphan saying that his simile sucked. I didn't think it would be this bad. Oh my gosh. We still don't know who the fuck this is. And we're already an eighth of the way through the story.
I don't. The character isn't describing himself, I guess.
For what felt like several hours of unconsciousness, I pulled myself off the ground. After, you mean?
Yeah.
I pulled myself off the ground and climbed my way to the control center of the ship. What I saw was not pretty. Whatever hit the ship eradicated our fuel tanks, meaning I'm endlessly floating in space. On top of that, I only had 7 days of power left and 10 days of oxygen left. Now, okay, this is very nitpicky, but most of the time when you read some sort of gauge for how much electricity left, you usually have like either a percentage of how much energy you can store or in watts.
Yeah.
7 days. That's not a very good metric. It's like 10 days of oxygen left. Like, you could have said, like, the PSI of the insides of the ship, or used any sort of technical term. It's like I don't know how the fuck to represent energy. Alls I know is that I just magically know that it's going to last me exactly 7 days.
Yeah.
It's like this 10 days of oxygen, this totally doesn't depend on how much I breathe. This totally doesn't, like, depend on air pressure or anything like that. It's just 10 days. I know that because I do. I don't even know how much food I have left over. So, okay, so you might be lasting about 2 days for all I know. He looks in his fridge and he figures out he has 2 days of food left. As I limped around the ship like a stabbing victim. Okay, just stop using similes. Just stop. You're using too many as it is, even if they would be good ones. Just stop. I searched for any food that I can find. After many hours of looking, I was able to find 6 days worth of food! I I love how after many hours, just in this one sentence fragment, like 5 hours pass. Lovely.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? I cried as I slightly hoped someone would respond, but the ship stayed silent, only echoing the wails of my question through its dark atmosphere. The whales?
It's supposed to be whales, I think. Wales.
The whales. Like, okay, I'll admit the plot is like being set up like better than Dystopian Mindset, but I wonder what the plot is actually going to be. Is he going to ruin it?
You'll see, yeah. Since it's gonna be
Is he
interesting
going
how it's gonna be compared to the last.
Is he going to ruin it? It's just, is he going to ruin it?
You'll see.
Okay. Through its dark atmosphere, I searched around the ship's medical ward to try and take care of my wounds. I put a big bandage wrapping around my leg, but I don't think there is anything I can do about my sprained ankle. Bandage. Just, well, fuck. It's like, my leg is cut up like a motherfucker. Let's just put a band-aid on it. As I was looking around the hospital, I saw a poster for our medical robot. SH1, it read. I got up with slight hope that it might still be on the ship and hopefully able to be turned on. So you mean it works? I looked around for the damn thing, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Show don't tell. I just looked around. It's nowhere. Dark corridor to dark corridor, no dice. I'm impressed. You managed to write an entire sentence with no verbs. It's just no verbs. I have one last room to check. The captain's quarters. Just reading the name on the room tag filled me with a sense of sadness and isolation. One of my shipmates was gone, even if they were kind of an asshole. Wait, what? I thought you were alone on this ship. What? Some exclamation, some Anything? Exposition? Any? I opened the door and found SH-1 lying on the floor, completely beaten up and trashed. His oddly shaped head was completely destroyed, and the neck was only keeping his head attached to the rest of the body with a couple of wires. The robot had no legs either. I dragged the robot to the main deck of the ship. Despite losing a little over half of its body, it's still heavy as shit. Okay, you have a sprained ankle and you're carrying a robot. Alright. I lightly dropped SH-1 onto the back of the control board. I plugged him in to access his video files to see what's going on. He just has those. Now that I think about it, why does this need a camera in its eyes anyways? Talk about a lack of privacy. At least it's only in the last 24 hours, though. Wait a minute. Okay. Why does this thing need a camera in its eyes anyways? Well, let's scroll up a little bit.
Oh, yes. Yes, I mentioned that.
Okay. It's a medical robot. I would assume it is able to do medical things. It wouldn't you need some sort of recognition? Hey, I am operating on this thing called a leg. This is a leg. If it didn't have cameras in it, does it use sensors? Or
Yeah, and now that he wanted to access the files, he'd be like, well, wouldn't he be glad that he had them?
talk about a lack of privacy. I guess what he probably should have said is like, why does this thing store video files? Store them.
Probably.
Why does it store them? Talk about a lack of privacy. But here it's really fucking useful. Why does it store video files? This is why! I looked through the video until I saw everything start shaking like an earthquake. I skipped back a couple of seconds so I could see what happened before. Who ping? Stop it! I could see all of my shipmates. The captain, Jericho Allen, was a sort of hot-headed asshole who thought he knew everything because of his high-standing position. Sure, he knew a lot, but at least tone it down a little, dude. He was talking to the only other person on board, Walter Gray, our ship doctor. As I was watching my two shipmates talk to each other, I just wished I could hear what they were saying. The video has no audio, but even then, seeing my two shipmates, the people who I have been flying with, out in the great beyond for a little over 9 years, I'm about to see them die. What I saw next was not for the light-stomached. Good. It's just like an in-story version of if you feel queasy, don't read this. The ship suddenly started to shake violently. Something had hit our cafeteria, where most of our food was, which our fuel was right underneath as well. Oh, hold up. Let's talk about the ship's design for a second here. You have a cafeteria, which likely has a kitchen near it, because it's a cafeteria. You use it to cook food. Let's put all the gas as close to that as possible. If there's a gas leak, the ship's gone.
Yeah.
I saw my friend struggle to survive as the airlock suddenly opened. Jericho was reaching onto some electrical wires that caught fire and began to burn him. He never liked fire. What? It's like, hold on. So you have wires that catch fire. First of all, how? Why?
Yeah.
Second of all, he never liked fire, especially now that he's burning to death. I think it was one of his biggest fears. Well, water was getting sucked into space and finally couldn't hold onto a storage unit. Okay, Walter! I thought this said water. Walter was getting sucked into space and finally couldn't hold on to a storage unit anymore. The storage unit was ripped out and he was sent flying. He took burning Jericho with him. Just burning Jericho. Before he was not burning Jericho. Now he's burning Jericho. Character development.
Oh yeah, he has 4 legs now.
Oh man. The lack of audio almost made it more horrifying. They clearly needed help, but it was almost like no one could hear them. What really horrified, however, is that SH-1 did absolutely nothing to help him. He could have quickly shut the airlock as he was right next to it, but he instead crawled into the captain's quarters after being ripped in half by flying shrapnel. As it was crawling through the hallway, the robot's head could be heard dragging and skipping onto the ground. Wait! Heard? You don't have audio!
Yeah. and you mentioned how the camera was in his eyes.
Yeah! How could you see anything? Come on!
Orphan's gonna watch this and just be like, lovely.
Absolutely beautiful. It's like a fine Swiss cheese. You enjoy it. There's a lot of holes.
Yep.
I am so angry. The stupid fucking robot could have easily saved my shipmates, but all it did was try and protect itself. Okay. It's a robot. It does what it's programmed to do.
Yeah.
You have not established that it has any sort of artificial intelligence whatsoever. So, it's a robot. It does what it's programmed to do.
I just assumed that it was like somehow in the future, maybe. And there was AI, but I guess the emotional reaction of this person is kind of maybe a little bit unjustified towards robots, which isn't completely not understandable.
I kicked Schwann's head off and it went flying across the room. So you have this this heavy metal. Hold up! First of all, you have a sprained ankle. Let's not forget about that. You have a sprained ankle, and you were dragging. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's still heavy as shit, and you have a sprained ankle. You kicked the fucking head, and it went flying through the room. Flying across the room. So either you're kicking with the leg with the sprained ankle, which case, ow. Or you're standing on the leg with the sprained ankle, in which case, ow. And now you have 2 sprained ankles. Character development. I begin punching the torso of the robot repeatedly until my fists were about to bleed. How could something without feeling be so selfish? Those were my okay. Without feeling. No emotions. Not AI. It does what it's programmed to do. They were my shipmates. No, they were practically my family. My family. Day 2. Oh, and what I'm also impressed is that a robot who is programmed to walk was also magically programmed to crawl in case it lost its legs.
Yeah.
The foresight on the programmer's part is to be respected. Day 2. I decided to search for more food, but couldn't find any. It seems the rest of it was sucked out into space. Well, yeah, you just saw it sucked out into space. This happened in the cafeteria where the food is. It seems the rest of it was sucked into space. I continued to look through everyone's personal belongings. The doctor had some bandages, but it seems most of the remaining medical supplies were broken from the impact. I kept searching around until I found a family portrait, my wife and little daughter. The photo brought me to tears almost immediately. I have nobody now. No one. I can't tell them what's going on and whether or not I'm going to be okay. All I can do is remember them. I'm going to remember this fact that he apparently has no communication with Earth.
You cut out.
I'm going to assume that he has no communication with Earth, otherwise this wouldn't be true. So if later down the road I see, hey, Command, I need help, I'm going to be calling bullshit. Honey, I'm not sure about this, she said. It seems like a really bad idea. Okay, you transition into this, which is probably a flashback. You give no indication other than this extra white space that this is the flashback.
It would be nice to have some stars there, maybe.
Also, no tabbing whatsoever, but whatever. I have no choice, I responded. Barry, you most certainly do, he countered. If you choose to do this, you won't see our daughter for 10 years. She'll be almost 12 by the time you get back. Hell, I won't see you Oh, I won't see you for 10 years. You know how I feel about being separated from you. Melissa, my darling, this planet doesn't have much longer to live. I responded, I'll be back, I promise. It won't be as long as you think. Okay, this planet doesn't have much longer to live. So I'm going to leave it for 10 years and then come back. How long does it have to live? Does it have more than 10 years to live? I'm assuming.
When I read that, I thought it was like a plot point, and they were going to save some of the planets somehow. I don't know how.
You shouldn't make promises you can't keep, she dejected. But I guess you're right. Promises that you can't keep. Also, wait a minute. Orphan's gonna be gone for 10 years. You have 6 days worth of food. What?
I mean, it was 6 days worth of food left.
So,
but apparently, I actually have no idea what.
How long ago did this take? Unless this was 9 years ago, that would make sense. How long have you been on the ship? If you've been on the ship for 1 year, then how do you get your food?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Be sure to tell Jessica that Daddy loves her a lot while I'm gone. I will. Heh, I guess she was right. I shouldn't make promises I can't keep. Oh, now you're back. Now this isn't the flashback anymore? Absolutely no
Yeah, maybe it should have been in italics.
I practically lied to her at this point. She won't know what happened to me for at least another year. I'll never get to see my family again. I'm such an asshole. So at least another year. So we know that this happened at most 9 years ago. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you still had a year left into your mission, why do you have 6 days worth of food?
I guess because a lot of the food maybe disappeared into space, but still, when he was in that room, I think the pilot's room maybe, and food was disappearing there. I mean,
What?
was all the food just there?
All the food's in the pilot room because the pilot's a fat pig.
And I think the main character might be the pilot too.
How could I do this to them? Why couldn't I have just been a little more selfish instead of trying to be the good guy? I should have been a little more selfish instead of trying to be the good guy for everyone. I think there was a way for me to power this thing back up so I could just send a final message to them. Wait, what thing? What thing? What thing? The ship? You just said you had 10 days of electricity left.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on there.
Explain. Explain. There's nothing here, though. It's all just broken shit that's going to break even more in the matter of 10 days. Again, because that's how much electricity you have. 10 days! Of course, I guess 9 days, but it's how many hours passed since you last determined that you had 10 days left. All I can do...
Well, this was like day 3 or...
This is day 2. This is day 2.
Okay.
So you have 9 days. All I can do is sit alone here and remember. Assuming the electricity is going, unless you have nothing on. Is nothing on?
I don't think that's the case.
Because
I still had power for...
Yeah, you need fucking light to see. It's space. It's all I have left. That's all I have left to do. I just wish I had something so I could hear their voices again. Hell, I'd take hearing anyone's voice again, but there's nothing I can do. All I can do is hope I get some sort of opportunity. Oh, don't worry. You're either the story ends and nothing happens, or you get back home and yay, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's what my thoughts on this were like. That's where this is probably going.
Day 3. Another day on this worthless piece of shit. I'm the only one who makes noise here. Well, you're the only one there. It's kind of haunting, really. It's like, I'm the only enter node that breathes. It's kind of haunting, really. Sometimes I wish something would fall over so I can hear a sound that wasn't made by me. Today was pretty much the same as usual. I ate my first and only meal since I want to have a good meal in my final hours at least. I also walked around the ship to try and clear my mind. Unfortunately, it only made me remember my fellow shipmates as I passed their quarters. I remember Jericho would quiz Walter and me on where things were on the ship. He would yell quite loudly if we got something wrong, but I guess he did his job well, considering I know the ship like the back of my hand. Did I not, at the very beginning of the story, say, I know this ship like the back of my hand?
Yeah,
Did
you
I
predicted
not?
2 things already.
Damn it, Orphan, you're so fucking predictable.
Mm.
I predict the main character is going to die. Alright. As long as I don't forget anything, I will be okay.
Okay, so
Foreshadowing.
with your prediction, he is going to die. I mean, maybe in 80 years, but he is going to eventually die.
He's going to die in the span of the story.
Right.
As I walk back to the control room, I notice one of the monitors beeping. Warning: entering planet atmosphere. How? How do you know that? Like, okay. So you have sensors that detect that, but you didn't notice earlier that you were going towards a planet? Uh-oh. I should scan
Apparently.
this planet to see if I can get any information on it. This should take about an hour. The planet itself seems alright. Wait, you're entering a planet's atmosphere and you have an entire hour before you crash into it? Are you decelerating? Or whatever. The planet itself seems alright. It's very green and has a ring of gas surrounding it. This could be a blessing in disguise, but who knows. Scanning. Process will take 1 hour to complete. Wait a minute, you already said that. Well, guess I can try to find other stuff while I wait for this thing to finish. I guess I should try to conclude what happened in the accident. Let's get that piece of junk robot in. Oh, right. I kind of broke it. It's okay, though. I should be able to remember what happened. I never forget things, after all. Is this being pretentious, or is this a fact?
Well, remember how earlier in the story it said, as long as I don't forget anything, I should be fine?
I have a feeling that the main character is going to forget something.
Oh, maybe.
Why do I have that strange feeling that the main character is going to forget something?
Which actually makes, if that's the case, then, I mean, okay, but then
I don't recall any signs of another ship flying into us, and I highly doubt if there are any other intelligent life out here that they would even do that. Do what?
fly into us.
I think it was an asteroid. I would have had to be. I would have had to be smaller in size, but still pretty big to not totally destroy a ship.
So the pilot, remember how we said that the pilot was bad? So he destroyed the ship because of being really big in size. This story just keeps on giving.
Yep. It's the Jew that keeps on giving. There's still one thing that bothers me. Why didn't the fuel explode? Perhaps I should open the door. No, that is a terrible idea. I just wish that the robot had audio. Then I could have heard whether or not something did explode. Sometimes you don't get the result you want, I guess. Can't you... You don't know if something exploded. If something exploded, you're probably going to be fucking dead. Scan complete. Planet name could not find. Signs of simple life. None. Signs of complex life. None. Energy level. High. Wait, what energy? What energy? Toxicity level. Could not find. Okay. So what's energy? Is this, like, kinetic energy? Is the planet moving? In case yes, the planet would have a lot of kinetic energy. Is it rotational energy? Is it angular velocity?
As this class has impacted you.
I mean,
Yes.
is
Some
it,
sort of energy.
is it potential energy? Is it fuel? Is he going to find fuel on this planet? In which case,
I think that's probably the closest to what he was implying.
I really don't know what he meant here. What What energy? What is energy level? What is toxicity level? Hold the fuck
If there are
up.
any trolls, if there are any trolls on the planet.
Oh yes, the planet's name is Runeterra, which if you didn't know, which is the planet that League of Legends takes place in.
Oh, so that a very high toxicity level then.
It's just you get on the planet, you open the door, and the first thing you hear is
Reported.
Report for feed. Well, that sucks. I wonder why the toxicity scanner isn't working. Another scan would cost too much energy, and I would probably lose a day's worth. Was the first one free?
The first one was an hour, which was stated twice, and then this one would apparently be a day.
I think it's safe to assume that the toxicity scanner was destroyed in the impact. Okay. What about the planet name? Is just the database destroyed, or is this an unknown planet? You don't even know if there's air on the planet. That's an important one. There's no life on the planet. Why would you assume that there's air?
Entering, I don't know.
Day 4. I wake up and my ship is wholly surrounded in green gas and space junk. I almost can't see anything, but I need to utilize this opportunity. I look around the ship to find anything that can contain the gas's energy in, because it can create fuel when burned. Wait, what? Okay, so you're burning gas. Okay, first of all, you're burning gas, which creates fuel. What gas is this? It's
apparently he just knew.
In green gas. Well, if you know that burning the green gas makes fuel, tell us what gas you think it is. What is the gas? I really hope this works. Okay, so you don't know if this is going to work. But it can create. I just know that. But I hope this works. This is probably my last hope. I looked around for a while to try and see if I can find anything that can work. Anything that can work. So, a container. Looking around for a container. A couple containers were lying around that I could keep the gas in for now until I can find something that can reasonably transfer the energy. What? You mean the gas? Or what? What?
I think it's like he has to keep the gas contained and then
also,
put it somewhere else to burn.
Also, hold up. You have a lot of energy, but not a lot of oxygen. Oxygen should be your first priority. Why are you making energy? Do you have, like, an oxygen creator that needs energy? And you don't have enough food. Shouldn't you create a food creator? Why is energy your priority?
I'm guessing that the power was like 7 days, and then the oxygen 10 days, something like that. I also don't understand how, like, there was still oxygen after that hole in the spaceship. Wouldn't it just suck all the oxygen out of it?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's weird.
I went inside and opened up a small airlock and let the gas flow into the container. I closed the airlock and sealed the gas as fast as I could. Some of it still loomed in the air, but it is not immediately killing me from breathing it, so that's good. Well, what does it smell like? You're breathing it. Does it smell like nothing? I am honestly in shock. Could I really have found something that could help me get to my final destination? How? It seems that this energy could be used as both power for the ship and for fuel. Wait a minute. Okay, first of all, how do you know this? Second of all, aren't those the same fucking thing? Do you not?
I think power's like electricity.
Okay,
I guess you'd be able to use fuel to make electricity.
Yeah. Just make fuel. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
Make fuel. It is literally perfect. Literally perfect. It is the rock for my helicopter.
Oh, you're the rock for my helicopter. It's the best line ever.
Oh man, I just hope I can actually do it. Is all I worry about it. Is all that I worry about it. Do what? Explain what you plan on doing exactly. Are you just good? You're planning on burning it, right? Is you're gonna burn it? How does that
Apparently
actually?
he is.
How does that create energy? I am a ship pilot. Oh, yep. Okay, he's a ship pilot. That also specializes in engineering, not a fucking chemist. I'm going to try my best though. You're not a chemist. Okay, cool. So how do you know that burning it's going to create fuel? You're not a chemist.
I mean, he really hopes it will work. So I mean,
if he hopes hard enough, it's going to work.
yeah.
I know because I hoped. Also, now you tab you indent your paragraphs. Earlier you didn't do that. It is quite interesting to watch how the gas moves. Maybe it's because it is the only interesting looking thing in this dreary ass ship, but I quite like it, looking at it roll around in Re-88 with color. The only way the green gas shines on the way that gives me a nice warm feeling. Okay, whatever. Day 5. Today I woke up and I just feel different. Something just feels off today, and I know it's not going to stop annoying me until I address it. I have to keep looking and not let it bother me and hold me back. As I eat a small breakfast, I look outside to try and see anything new, really. However, I am still encapsulated. See anything new, really. However, I am still encapsulated by the green and black blanket around me. Space is lonely. I don't like it. If you don't like space, why did you go on a spaceship? This food tastes like shit too, worse than usual. Maybe just because it's an MRE. I'm assuming this is an MRE.
Sorry.
I'm at least assuming that this food is MRE.
Yeah, but I guess it tastes worse than the food usually did on the spaceship. I guess.
I start getting a bizarre feeling. My stomach feels like it's going to crawl out of me and jump off a cliff. Why? I tried to make it to the bathroom, but I tripped on that stupid ass robot on the floor and fell over. I'm too weak to get back up. Oh, you pussy. I begin to start vomiting uncontrollably onto the floor. I just can't stop. It feels like every single fluid in my body is leaving me and shooting out of my mouth over and over again. Wait, what? It's not like this is my first time puking. I've certainly had it happen before, but I've never had food poisoning be this severe. This is not food poisoning! If this was food poisoning, the food poisoning doesn't take place in the span of 3 seconds. It just doesn't. It takes like a couple hours. Anyway.
Yeah.
Something must
Maybe
have...
a couple hours passed and he just didn't specify it.
Something must have made it stronger than usual. I can't keep this up much longer either. I'm getting fragile. I can't. I woke up in what was a pool of dried... I'd rather not think about what I was laying in for. It was probably several hours. I'm still pretty super weak, but at least I can get myself off the floor now. I need to clean myself off and get some new clothes. These ones were pretty much ruined by that fiasco. I looked through my clothes and found something I didn't want to see or read, but my curiosity got the best of me. Honey, I almost hope you never read this, but I really do have no choice. I'm not sure when you're going to read this, but by the time you see it, I am dead. I can't take you leaving for 10 years. I just can't. What? You know how separation affects me. I can't take it. I get nervous constantly, and I usually have suicidal thoughts and harm myself. That's what I've done. I sent our daughter to my parents, and I'm ending it all. Goodbye, your love, Melissa. Oh! Oh! Well! Goodbye, any and all motivations for this character to do anything. What? Why? It's just like, hey, I'm gonna slip a suicide note into your fucking coat because fuck you.
Yeah.
How could this happen? How could this happen? Why did this have to happen? How could I have been so stupid? Why didn't I just stay? None of this would have ever happened if I just said, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. It's not fucking fair. Why am I such an awful person? Why am I such a horrible piece of shit? Why did this have to happen? Fuck. Why? 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 Why am I such a... Why gasp? Wait a minute, there are no quotes. You're not speaking. Why are you gasping? Why did you copy-paste the word why 12 times? Why? 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 All I've ever done is hurt people. I'm a nuisance to everyone. Maybe I am better Maybe I am better left off alone in space. Better left off. Perhaps this was my destiny. I could have helped my shipmates, but I decided I would be better off sleeping like a lazy ass. You didn't know this was happening, dude.
Yeah.
I
Now,
could have.
I do want to justify this with the fact that he might not be thinking in the most rational way right now.
I could have stayed home and given my wife and daughter a happy life, but nope. I had to be the good guy of the story. I had to have a happy ending. Something tells me you're not going to get a happy ending. I could have just lived at home peacefully and let someone else who isn't the fucking worthless hack do this job. Had I actually been doing my job, we could have probably avoided the asteroid. I could have flown around it. The inbounding metal hitting my fists feels like I'm punching a pillow. A sense of adrenaline and anger makes me want to destroy everything on this fucking piece of shit. Why did this happen to happen? Why does life have to torment me more? Warning, vital electricity source damaged. Wait, what are you doing? It's like you imply that you're breaking things. Why did this have to happen? Why does this have to torment me more? Warning, vital electricity source damage. Warning, control panel damage. Warning, pilot seat window shield damage. Heavy breathing. The sound of my tears echo throughout the dead silence of the dark ship. The lights in the control room are flickering on me like a horror movie, and I almost broke the glass through one of the windows. My hands feel like they're broken and are bleeding all over the place. I don't even have the strength to walk to the medical ward. I feel completely alone now. What's the point in coming back anymore? I don't have the strength to tell my daughter what her mom did, if she doesn't already know. I've missed 9 of their birthdays so far. Okay, so it's been 9 years. I was fucking right. For the 3rd time.
Yeah,
So
although I guess this guy's kind of implied by the fact that there's not much food left. Which I don't think Orphan really consciously thought this through, but...
9 birthdays where I couldn't see them smile, 9 birthdays where I couldn't hug them and tell them I love them. I abandoned both of them, and now I'm reaping what I sowed. But something makes me want to keep going. What? As far as I know, my daughter is still alive. I need to try and back home. Hey guys, I'm gonna recall back home. Just for her, she's my last hope. I slowly got up, inch by inch, and limped to the medical ward. I noticed blood dripping from my head as well. I must have hit a bunch of stuff on the ship with it. I honestly don't even remember what I did after reading the note. Well, neither do we, because you didn't really tell us what you did.
Well, I guess because from his perspective.
I walked past the now blood-soaked suicide letter, but I can't even bring myself to pick it up the floor. I have bigger priorities anyway, like not bleeding to death. Well, maybe you should have fucking thought of that. I make my way to the doctor's office and start wrapping bandages around my self-inflicted wounds. It does feel better now that I'm not bleeding to death, and I think my hands and fingers aren't actually broken, which is good. Very good. I have to keep going for my daughter. I don't care anymore what other people thought about me. I need to do this for her, and I need to do this to avenge my wife. Avenge? Avenge means you kill the person that killed her. She killed herself. The least I can do is succeed in my mission. Then I'll finally be able to signal for help. What is your mission? What are you planning on doing? You didn't tell us this.
Yeah, this bothered me.
Day 6. Wait, a whole day passed? What are you doing? You're doing nothing! You are literally doing nothing. Also, how do you know that the days are past? Do you have a clock?
Yes, so I don't know.
I woke up today with a major headache. I guess that's what happens when you bang your head on everything and scream like a banshee. Anyway, I should probably start picking up the mess I made. I'm a bit of a neat freak. I don't even remember most of what I threw around her head. I just remember doing it for like 20 minutes or so. Oh, it seems like I knocked SH1 over in my tantrum. Well, okay, SH1 has already been destroyed. You destroyed him twice? Wait, what's this in the back? Are those batteries? I could totally use these to keep getting power. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. This is the rock to my helicopter. I won't have to worry as much about being in the dark, which is something I was really not looking forward to. I ate as quickly as I could. My food had a weird tang to it that I didn't really notice before, which is odd. I think I noticed the last time too when I got food poisoning. Hoping it doesn't happen again this time. It happened again this time. I've been working on these damn batteries for hours now, but I've gotten almost no more. It turns out turning cells into refillable batteries is a lot harder than you might have first thought, but I had to stay determined. Do 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 do. This makes sense because Warframe was playing Undertale recently.
Oh.
I had to completely gut the inside of the battery and replace the shell of the middle part of the cell. I then replaced the body. Okay, no. If you gut the inside of a battery, it's useless. Also, you're not a chemist. I then replaced the body of the cell with some mold containers so it would be transparent. I reconfigured how the battery transmits power somehow. I just did.
I guess he's an engineer with as well as a pilot.
He's an engineer. As an engineer, he solves problems.
He had a problem. He solved it.
Not
no
problems.
Idea how, but like.
Not problems like, is God real? Because that would fall under the realm of philosophy. I solve practical problems, and those solutions to those problems include use some gun, and if that doesn't work, use more gun. All I have to do is cool the gas and turn it back into liquid, and cool the gas and turn it back into liquid. Well, hold on. Then I can pour it into the battery. What? What is this, alkaline gas or something? You don't know? You're not a chemist. What the fuck is going on?
Something.
How does this... Why? What? If you cool a gas, it apparently turns into charged liquid? What?
Somehow it makes sense in this.
Also, if it's a gas at room temperature, because that container is obviously at room temperature by this point, then how do you cool it so much that it turns into a liquid and not a solid? I had to stick the jar of the gas into the ship freezer and wait a couple hours. Also, hold up. How is the cold of space warmer than your freezer? I'm confused. How is the... Okay, because if you go up to Mount Everest, it's very cold up there. It's because as you move away farther from the planet, it gets colder.
Yeah.
So you're barely in the atmosphere, unless the ship has landed. Has the ship landed?
Well, it doesn't say so.
It doesn't say so. So I'm assuming it's still floating around in the stratosphere, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So you have this gas, which is apparently at room temperature a gas, but also at stratospheric temperature a gas. But shoving it into the freezer is going to turn it into not a solid, but a liquid. I don't know. The process for cooling the liquid, it's not a liquid, it's a gas. It wasn't fast either. I had to stick the jar... Wait a minute. Okay, so this is... Okay. I had to stick the jar of gas into the ship freezer and wait a couple hours. It's finally done. Now to test. Hold on. So, you taking the liquid out of the freezer and pouring it into the battery, it's going to stay a liquid?
Apparently.
How? That's not how temperature works. When something warms up, it absorbs heat. When something cools down, it dispels energy. It's how whatever. It's finally done. Now to test. I'm going to plug the battery back into SH1 and see if it powers him. The robot's eyes flickered and he tried to reattach his head. I quickly turned him off and removed the battery because I don't want to waste this damn thing. Wait, I thought you broke it.
But thing, I assume energy.
Hold up. No. You broke SH1 to the point where you could no longer view the video footage. But you can plug the battery in and turn him on and he just works.
Man.
I plug it in.
It never stated if he succeeds in reattaching, but the fact that he like even is able to try.
I plug it into the ship, and let's just say the effort isn't exactly worth it. Don't get me wrong, it does work, but I'm going to need to collect a lot more of the stuff for it to be effective. I'll at least be able to eat a nice meal tomorrow on the light, at least. Okay. So how many days of energy did you get? Because apparently that's a unit of energy in this universe. You're a physicist, you should know! I walk back into my room, and all of a sudden feel violently ill again. There's definitely something wrong with my food, and I'm just going to have to keep vomiting it up if I keep trying to eat it. At least this time it won't be on the floor. If you're vomiting the food out, you're not really digesting it and getting the nutrients from the food. If you just keep vomiting it up, you're gonna starve to death.
Yeah.
What's causing this? I need to know to survive a little bit longer. Day 7. Gotta say, I was expecting to wake up in a completely pitch black ship, but I was pleasantly surprised with light, even though I know I was going to have it. I was going to.
So he goes from expecting to wake up on a pitch black ship to knowing that there was gonna be light.
Obviously.
In one sentence.
It was almost unexpected in a weird way. I feel like I have a major migraine, though. Always getting food poisoning sure is not helping my body out. I need to eat something. Okay, so we're 3/4 into the story. What card? You know, the Major Arcana? The theme? This just didn't address it at all.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I get it. His wife killed himself, therefore it's death.
Yes. I gotta admit right now, mine just doesn't really follow a card. I mean, it has cards that it might fit, but...
So you wrote something and hoped it followed the theme?
Yeah, because it was my third idea, and I like went through two already. I was exhausted from like having to think about something for long and then not be able to write it. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write it, and now if it works out, then I'm gonna figure something out.
Imagine you get disqualified for not following a card. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. But then again, I'm gonna point at something and say, well, this follows it. It's your theme. It's the theme was supposed to be loose after all.
I mean, I didn't even tell Kitty what my card was. Watch her say it was like a different card than what it was supposed to be. But I guess through context, you can actually figure it out. The reverse high priestess represents like silence. And like
probably, like, and that kind of correlates to the ending, I guess.
It correlates to what Kitty was having to do. Funny enough, it's not death, even though someone died. Therefore, it's death.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
Oh, someone died. Okay, it's a death card.
Yeah. Okay. Legit. I predicted before this jam happened that 3/4 of. What did I say? I said that 3/4 of the stories were going to have death as their card, and like the majority of those it's going to be death because someone died.
Yeah.
See? Get it? It's going to be death because someone died.
Yes.
I opened up one of the meals and ate it up. The tang flavor is back. I spit out the food and pounded my fist in anger. Something is up. Something is fucking going on, and I'm going to figure it out, damn it. You're not a chemist. I haven't eaten in 3 days now. I feel like I'm starving. Something fucking infected my food, and I need to figure out what it is. Damn it, damn it, damn it. What is the food being contained in? Like, We don't know what the food is. It's just food.
Yeah.
It is literally just described as being food. It doesn't even say space food. It's just food. Is it
Yeah.
bacon? Is it tofu? Is it literal dog shit? I don't know.
I mean, it did taste like shit. He said it in the story.
Okay, well, it tasted like shit, therefore it is shit.
Yeah. Welcome, whoever's watching now.
Oh! Wait, what?
Three people are watching. Oh no, it's back to two.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, I was looking at the dash. It's been 2. Whatever. I started to just violently beat the table until my hands were bruised and bleeding again. Why are you so hell bent on breaking things? It's like you haven't eaten in 3 days and yet Hulk smash. Somehow I feel like I'm getting a strange catharsis from the pain. It hurts so well. What's happening to me? What? Okay, Queen of Pain. I ran over to the room where I was extracting the gas from the planet and violently beat everything until it was broken. Why? What is going on?
He's just going through some deep emotional trauma right about now.
Literally, he just it's the flick of a switch, and he just goes Hulk smash.
You're cutting out, internet.
Okay, it's literally just a flick of a switch, and all of a sudden he goes Hulk smash and destroys all of the things that are important. What is wrong with this character? I hate this character. I just hate this character. I cannot emphasize with this character because he's such a fucking dipshit.
I don't know. I think that on the spaceship, I actually think that it's something that. I mean, it's not like I'm saying I would do it, but I'm saying it's possible for someone to do that when you're on a spaceship, just isolated, and you get all this emotional trauma, and you're going to die, and it's just you have to have some way of relieving it.
And so you break the important things?
Well, I mean, the table might not be important, but yeah, that control panel, yeah, definitely.
I ran over to the room where I was extracting the gas from the planet and violently beat everything until it was broken. Why? You said that you needed that. Whatever. My fingers feel like they're going to fall off my hands. The gas spread around the room, and that's when it hit me. That's what infected my food, so I have no choice now. I have to live in darkness. I have 1 hour until the ship completely loses power, which means I have to take care of something. Okay, I have a question. This gas infected your food. It's not killing you just by breathing it?
Apparently.
How did you reach this? That's what infected my food. I know because I do. Show don't tell.
Yeah.
The airlock that is currently preventing me from getting sucked into space will open again if the ship loses power. Why? Is this Five Nights at Freddy's rules now? It's like, yeah, the door that is locked shut, it just opens when you run out of power. So now all of a sudden, electricity is a bigger deal than it was before. For some reason.
Yeah, he didn't specify it earlier in the story.
Do I want just to end my suffering? No. This is for my daughter. I'm going to live as long as I can. I'm doing this for her. But you're not. The clock was ticking. I had 30 minutes left to show somewhere. Wait, what? I had 30 minutes left to somehow hardwire this door shut after it loses power. I kept filling with wires. How do you know this?
I think there's like an indicator of how much power is remaining.
15 minutes. 10 minutes, 6 minutes, done. It is done. Literally just this. Do you remember in Pokemania? Chapter 6, I believe it was. The fight against Dark. You remember how I did that countdown? But after every increment, I said something important.
Oh, yeah.
I kept the story going. I didn't just say 10 left, 90 left, 80 left, 10, 20 left, 10 left, 1 left.
Yes. because it adds urgency to the story. But there's no story here; it's just ticking down.
It's just like I fought a battle and then I won. I had to do this and then I did.
So, and then Dark appeared with his army of Pokemon. The fight started. 100 seconds, 90 seconds, 80 seconds, 70 seconds, 60, 50, 40, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds, 1 second. I threw a rock at Dark and he fell on the ground unconscious.
Oh man. Done. It is done. I cannot open this door in any way possible. I love how you're explicitly explaining the things that are important while not actually giving any detail to what you fucking did.
Yeah.
It's like the writing in this. This is a longer version. This is a longer version of Dystopian Mindset. I'm sorry. So, like, okay, I have a legitimate question. We're 3/4 in through the story. What's the plot?
I guess him trying to survive.
It's like, is this entire plot going to be? It's okay. This entire plot is going to be, I'm trying to survive and then I did, or I'm trying to survive and then I didn't.
Yeah, well, I think I'll
My
talk more
major
about after the story.
yeah,
ends.
my major complaint is that like things don't really flow. They're not presented as a full story. It's portrayed as a sequence of events that just happened because they did. Well,
Yeah, kind of.
the main character's wife died because she killed herself because she did. The main character left on this mission for some reason because he did. This gas powers the ship because it does. The gas poisons his food because it does. Okay, all of these facts are being thrown at us, but it doesn't really make a story. It's like, this, I cannot open this door because I can't. Because I did this thing.
Yeah.
I kept pushing the button to make sure, but nothing is happening. I think I did it. I now take a moment to walk around the ship. I have 5 minutes of life left. I will never have this feeling again. I will live the rest of my life in darkness. I will live the rest of my life in darkness. So that basically just means you're going to die, right?
I think that's what it implies.
Yeah. Alone with a gas that fucks with my mind and food. Oh, so is this some sort of insanity gas? That's why he goes Hulk smash, right? Is that what I was supposed to learn? The gas makes him go Hulk smash.
Maybe. I mean, it poisons him, but I guess maybe it also affects him in other ways.
Maybe it's like a neurological toxin.
So that's why the breathing doesn't like kill him. It just makes him, I don't know.
Makes him go insane.
Yeah.
So I remember the plot of Black Ops 2 was that there was this nerve gas, but instead of making people go insane, it just killed them. But just by breathing it in. So okay, you have this gas. Why aren't you always insane? Is it that every time he eats he goes insane? Like, is that the pattern that we're developing here? Because the gas infected his food. But if so, why isn't breathing the gas making him go insane? It's just
that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
he eventually reached the conclusion that the gas was making him go insane. But why was he obviously breathed it and then reached that conclusion somehow because of the way it infected his psyche. But why didn't he go Hulk smash again? I don't get it.
I mean, I think he can still think, but it affects his thinking and makes him like much more likely to start smashing things based on his emotional spurs, even when otherwise he would probably restrain himself because he knew that he needed that.
I mean, this planet is really just infected with the farts of the Incredible Hulk, obviously. But because that's why it's green, and that's why it makes him go Hulk smash. But okay. Alone with a gas that fucks with my mind and food. Okay, just the mind and food. But it also gives you energy to do things.
Yeah.
This is for my family. It's the least I can do it. Ship power low, ship power low. Ship power low. As I listened to those last words, a blanket of darkness surrounded me. I couldn't see anything. I truly felt alone. I began to start crying my ass off in the lonely, dark abyss. I just have to keep going. I have to do this for my family. I just have to remember them. Day 8. Huh? Where am I? Why is everything so dark? Where the fuck am I? Okay, breathe. Perhaps I can figure it out. You're smart. What is my name? Who am I? What's my name? What the fuck is my name? Why can't I remember anything or anyone? This reminds me of a SpongeBob episode. Does this remind you of Where's SpongeBob? SpongeBob Goes Missing. Remember that episode?
No.
Okay. Okay, well, essentially the plot is that he, like, knocks himself out, and then he wakes up and can't remember shit, and so he just kind of goes around and is just like, I don't have my identity anymore, I'm sad. And then he becomes the mayor of the city somehow? I don't know.
Because obviously the only reason he didn't earlier was whatever.
Whatever. I just woke up in something. I should try and figure out what it is and where I am. What the hell? I'm pressing the button and this damn door won't open. It isn't shut all the way, so I can try to lift it up. Hing. Damn, these doors are strong. Phew, there we go. I can crawl under the door now at least. Whoa, hold up! Hold the fuck up! Where is it? I cannot open this door in any way possible. Is this the door you're opening? Is this the door you just opened? Or is it a different door? Because you didn't fucking specify. Now where am I? Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm in fucking space. It is the door! It's the door you just said you couldn't open. That's the only thing you said about the door, is that it couldn't be opened and then you opened it. Did you forget you wrote that? Now where am I? What the fuck? I'm in fucking space. I'm literally stranded in space. You should be dead.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? I can't remember who I am, anyone I know. Hell, I don't even remember what I look like. I can't check either because this ship is pitch black. Wait, what? Wait, where is he? Where the fuck are you? Oh my god.
Apparently the space doesn't start sucking him in like it did.
What? Is it not sucking him in? Or maybe it's because it has an atmosphere, but even then, like, the atmospheric pressure would just kind of equalize from within.
Yeah.
And wait a minute, he's not even commenting on the green gas. Where's the green gas? I thought you said you couldn't see anything but the green fucking gas. Like, are you not in the ship's atmosphere anymore, or the atmosphere anymore? Or whatever.
I guess.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die, 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 fucking hell, man, I don't even know how long I have to live. Tears ran down my face as I thought about my impending doom. I don't even know who I am and I'm going to die soon. Why do you have amnesia all of a sudden? Why?
Well, I remember when
you
said that he was going to forget something.
Oh my gosh! Did he?
But I think this time it was surely intentional on Orphan's part as a plot.
He doesn't explain it. Like, none of these plot points are because of something. It's just events happen.
I'm pretty sure it's because of the gas and him going insane over his emotional.
Well, I mean, it's like we have to figure that out. We're expected to just kind of guess. It doesn't actually explain the reasoning behind anything that happens, and so, to me, just reading this as your average reader, as on the surface level, it's just things happen. Why do I have to do all the work? Because Orphan didn't feel like explaining anything. It's just things happen.
It makes the story kind of hard to read.
Yeah, it does, because it's just things happen. And it also makes it very easy to make fun of.
Yep.
Tears ran down my face as I thought about my impending doom. I don't even know who I am, and I'm going to die soon. I can't remember anyone's faces. I need to eat something. Where the fuck is the food? Surely it has to be around here somewhere. I began to start stress eating all of my food away. I needed something to calm me down. I needed to keep eating and eating and eating and eating until I was completely full. I couldn't stop. I needed all of it. After I ate my meal, I began to start breathing heavily. Why is the food so tangy? My vision was super blurry and my thoughts were inconsistent and weird. I ate 2 days worth of food and my body ain't liking it. Sometime later, I started getting really sweaty and stressed out. He's turning into the Incredible Hulk! I don't know why I was feeling this way. I guess waking up and being in space does this to you. My head started to repeat a chant from inside my brain, over and over. Who are you? Where's everyone? Why are you here? You need to end your life. I kept hearing that over and over again. It won't leave my mind. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. My words kept slurring together like an idiot. Get out of my head. I couldn't stop but speak super fast. You're not using quotation marks. How do I know you're saying anything? I need to
Yeah.
end
And
this.
is this in his mind or is he actually saying it?
I
Or
don't know. I need to end this. I can't live like this anymore. It's too much torture. I need to find something here to kill myself with. I can't take this anymore. I'm assuming I was some kind of astronaut or whatever. What year is this even? I don't recognize any of these planets around me. So it must be pretty far into the future for us to be this deep into space. Unless I'm forgetting what this planet and stars? I think that what the planets and stars, I think they were called. That's what I think. I think that's what they were called. What was I doing? I feel like I'm always forgetting my train of thought. It's like I'm slowly losing control over my own opinions. No, seriously, what was I doing? I can't remember. Suddenly it popped back into my head. I didn't even question it. I just walked around to find whatever I could. I found a nice metal corner, and I was about to hit my head repeatedly into it. I would finally be free from the suffering. Unfortunately, something blocked me from my mission. There was something on the ground. I think it was paper, and I slipped. And I hit my head on something and passed out. I fall asleep, bathed in the blood gushing from my head and the vomit from my food. Haha, I hope I can eat something today. Haha, nothing is there. I'm a worthless piece of shit. I can't remember anyone. I just want to remember someone. Anyone. I kept calling for help in the hallway, hoping to hear someone respond. Nobody came. But that's okay. At least I can still have the endless void of space to keep me company. The internal silence sure is welcoming and heartwarming. There is someone important to me that I need to remember, but I just can't. Hell, I can't even remember my parents. My entire memory is gone. Maybe space is the answer. Yeah, if I just jump out of the ship, maybe I can uncover something new in my life and get my memories back. My hands are shaking with anger and fear. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Leave this place. Sigh. Haha, okay, yeah, that's a great idea. Just gotta break this window. Haha, I'm finally gonna be free. Let me out, let me out, let me be free. Freedom will be mine at last. Space will answer everything for me. As I hit my last punch, the window crashed and I was sucked outside from the dark space of abyss. Okay, now you're getting sucked out. As I floated away slowly, he froze to death. I remembered my family. You weren't freezing to death earlier? I remembered everything. I drifted off into the abyss as I left the frozen blanket of air, and as I let the frozen blanket of answers clear my mind. Okay, cool. So where's the green gas?
I assume that the story just kind of assumed that it wasn't near the planet anymore.
I breathed it all. That's what happened.
All of it.
All of it.
So and also notice how he braced the window. So the window is designed so that the pressure of vacuum can't break it, and that he breaks it with a punch.
Yeah.
Uh
Remember, this is the Incredible Hulk. Hulk smash. Hulk smash window.
huh.
All right. So I need to take a small break because I need to pee and I need water.
All right. All right. Me too.
Okay. Be back. All right. Hello, I'm back. Are you back? No, no, you're not.
I'm back.
Hello.
All right. So now about Orphan Story. What I said about it is that it's not a good story because it has a lot of problems with it that need to be fixed. But I did like it more than Dystopian Mindset because of its emotional aspect or even the presence of one.
It's okay. It's like okay. I have a feeling that this is the thought process that Orphan went through when he made Asteroids. Okay. I want to make an emotionally driven story. The emotions will drive the story. That's it. That is literally just all that happens. Yes, the emotions drive the story, but then he's missing the very basic idea of logical progression or a plot.
Yeah, it's kind of made sense in his head, I guess. Which is our problem. It kind of makes sense to us. We don't actually realize that we need to logically connect things together.
So we're expected to do so, but like, why should we have to? We're having to make assumptions about the most basic fucking things. Like, I believe we pointed it out in the very beginning of the story. Also, first of all, I called that the main character was going to die. So,
Yep.
but it feels like blatant foreshadowing. Oh, gee, as long as I don't forget anything, I'll be fine. Oh shit, I forgot everything just because, and now I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
It's just
So I'm also guessing that the card is death.
the card is death because the character dies.
Bro, yeah. My second story idea was one that actually really fit the card of death, at least from the website that I read.
I
About
didn't even use death.
Yeah. Well, but someone died in your story. How could you not?
I mean,
I mean, obviously it has to be death if someone dies.
the theme is death because somebody had died. Beautiful. Anyway, I think that the story sucks in terms of plot, and it kind of sucks in terms of writing, but there are some good moments.
I think it actually. Yeah, the writing makes it. The presentation is just makes it really hard to read, but the nicer moments about it, they're more evident towards the end. But like to get there, so much work needs to be put in.
Yeah, and I really, really wish that. Well, okay, this 41-page story could be summarized in a shorter time span than this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem with it. You have a long story in which you're really trying to fill a lot of time because like the important parts are so far apart that you have to write a bunch of shit in order to actually like bridge that gap.
Mm-hmm.
And the shit just isn't really it's
Yeah,
It's like you have the moments. Orphan discovers gas. Orphan makes electricity. Those two things are probably about 7 pages apart, and between those 2 points, nothing happens.
yeah.
And so the overarching plot is just kind of like a hump. And it's kind of how I feel about this late now. I'm gonna have a more constructed opinion later, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to really put the work in to actually like analyze the story.
Yeah, the family part is probably one of the nicer parts about it, but even that could have been a lot more explained. Like why?
I think okay, so he had something interesting proposed. He had this idea that he leaves his family, he leaves his wife that hates being alone to go on this mission, and yet he makes the cardinal sin to not explain why he decided to leave the family. What is he going to do? What is his mission? What will the
And there was that
mission?
one line about saving the planet, never elaborated upon.
Never. Yeah, that's kind of what I hate. You have this moral dilemma set up where the character regrets his decision, but you don't talk about why he made it in the first place. And so that's just like, well, fucking. Now I would. It really comes off as, well, why did you make that decision in the first place, dumbass? Like, was it? Did it have to be specifically you that goes on this mission? Why is this mission important? What are you doing on this mission? What are you doing on this mission? That's never explained. You're obviously on the ship for a reason. Did you forget? I mean, the story just starts off by the main character almost dying, and that was pretty bullshit on its own too. Like the vacuum of space, that you get sucked fast, like fast. You don't just hold on to something. Your arm would come off.
Yeah, and it's like there was even like a final destination mentioned somewhere in the story.
Yeah.
But never explained what it actually was.
Yeah, was the planet the final destination? Obviously not, because or else he would have said something. So there's just this planet. Okay. Why is the planet important? Also, does gravity not exist in this world? Like, that's a serious question. You have this planet. You have the very basic idea of gravity. Okay? So you're in the atmosphere of the ship. It runs out of power, therefore it can't fucking move. Why did the ship not crash into the planet? Was the planet made of gas?
Because also, like, the vomit stays on the floor, which means that the planet probably attracts it, but then it's just not near the planet anymore.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, he treats gravity like the floor of the spaceship has a gravitational pull. Okay, that does not make any fucking sense. Like, if you were near a planet that obviously has some sort of gravity and atmosphere, then the vomit would go towards the planet, because that's what has the greatest gravitational pull. It's going to go towards the planet. Why does it? So for the vomit to go to the floor of the spaceship, meaning the spaceship would be pointing. Surely the spaceship is affected by the gravity, right?
Yeah.
So how does the spaceship leave the atmosphere of the planet? It just leaves. With no forces acting upon it. It's just like, the planet's like, I don't want you in my atmosphere anymore, and just pushes it away.
Yeah, the gas becomes liquid and pushes the ship out.
Okay. Time to move on.
Yeah.
So apparently dinner is being made. So I might actually, like, after one of these stories, just kind of take a more longer break to eat dinner.
That makes sense.
Also, you put yourself last on purpose, so I'm just gonna fucking.
I put no. I put Asmel on last because that's what needs to happen.
Forum post.
And
by
last
Derek
one is
Butters.
first, obviously.
Prologue. The world. Everyone, please get back to your room. Your mission will start soon. The speakers blared the robotic-like message into the room. This room in particular was completely isolated. What room? There were 21 dormitories along the walls, but absolutely no exit in sight. The room itself was almost entirely black. The walls, the ceiling, the floor, supporting pillars, and even the furniture were all colored at least a dark gray. It was still comfortable though. Chairs, sofas, lounges, and tables were all placed in the room, as well as a long table in the middle that was consistently restocked with food. It was surprisingly a very decent place to live for inhabitants. 21 residents lived there to be precise. Wait, 21 residents. So you have, okay, 21 dormitories. Wait a minute. In what layout do you have an odd number of dorms along the walls? How?
So I assume that like the doors are on one wall, then on the wall opposite it, and then on one of the walls connecting them, there's like 3 rooms or something.
It sounds like to me there would be like, okay, there's no exit. There is no exit. First of all, how do you have a room with no exit? But are we to assume that it goes like there are 7 dormitories on 3 walls, and then the last wall is just kind of there? It's just kind of a wall?
Maybe. Oh, I was thinking it was more rectangular, with like
It is. I am talking about rectangular, like a rectangle.
with 8 doors, 8 doors, and 5 doors, something like that.
8 doors, 8 doors. I mean, I guess that would also work.
So there are possibilities, but it's kind of weird.
21 residents lived there to be precise. They were all young adults, perhaps in their late 20s, and dressed as any other adult would. T-shirts, skirts, hoodies, jeans, all standard wear, but one thing noticeable about their outfit though was that each resident had a golden locket around their neck. Each locket was unique to the wearer and had a Roman numeral etched on the front and a picture inside. Their dorms were labeled 1 through 21, and each dorm belonged to the resident who had the matching number on the locket. In fact, these lockets could be considered a pseudo form of identity. After all, since they didn't have proper names, they all had to be known as whatever their number was. It was perhaps a little dehumanizing. They're Jews. But for them, it was pretty normal. Numbers weren't really a part of their lives. They didn't really do anything for that matter. Life for them was boring and apathetic, and there was no point to it at all. But in reality, there was a point. Sometimes they forgot it, but they had a job to do, a mission. This mission was now. The residents stopped what they were doing. They knew their mission had been drawing near, but for it to finally happen, it was a complicated feeling. Everyone said their goodbyes and farewells. They weren't going to see each other for a long time. Their mission had to be done. All of them started walking to their appropriate dorms and entered, leaving the main room as barren as if it was abandoned. Why? Number 17 walked into his room. Like all the other rooms, it was spacious, at least for a living space. Okay, so this place is essentially, what you're saying is that this place, which is essentially dehumanizing in some form or another, is better than the rooms that I live in college.
Apparently.
That is, yeah. The aesthetic was nearly identical to the main room. The room was dark, black, and frankly depressing. It was a bedroom, but there was also a workstation at the end of the room. This workstation was to be used for his mission, which he had to do pretty soon, so he walked over and sat down. The workstation was comparable to an office space. It had a large desk, a comfortable chair, and also had an unusual layout. Several monitors were surrounding his peripherals, and there was a keyboard in front of him, but no actual computer was near. Instead, all of the monitors turned on as he fiddled with the keyboard. Each monitor turned on one by one, and finally the 2 largest ones flicked to power. The one on the left showed a standard teenager's room, and all the smaller monitors were the same shot but at different angles. The large monitor on the right, however, showed a blank Word document that the keyboard was likely connected to. Suddenly, the left monitor showed the owner of the room walking in. Number 17 shuffled in his seat. It was go time for him. He cracked his knuckles and started typing. Okay. First page in. No fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah. Confusing.
Chapter 1, The Star. Number 17's assignment, Nikos Sosin. Soken. A teenage boy walked into the room. He was bored, or at least he looked like it. Actually, his appearance himself was boring too. Medium-length black hair that was slightly curly, whilst wearing a reddish t-shirt and jeans. It was just a perfect culmination of absolute boredom. The weather was boring, and from how he acted, his day wasn't any more interesting. He took off his backpack and threw it somewhere on the floor, then sat down on his desk. He sat and turned on his laptop, the usual. As he waited for his laptop to turn on, he looked around his room. There wasn't much. A bed, his desk, a shelf, and a closet. Even decorations-wise, there wasn't much to be excited about. There should be a hyphen here. He stood up and walked over to his shelf. He had some books, some old toys, and a few other various objects. Pencils, a ruler, a lot of junk, which he didn't like. He started cleaning up his shelf, making everything neat and organized. He was shuffling through the books and toys, and oh, what's this? He seems to have found an old certificate he used to have. It says, Burnside Elementary Spelling Bee Champion. Oh, and right under that it says Nico Sosen. Ha, the boy's name was Nico. Nico Sosen. Nico turned around. The laptop turned on. He finished dealing with whatever was on the shelf and made it look like all organized and nice. Then he stood up and walked back to his desk. Loading, done. Nico boots up his web browser and opens up Forum Post. This was the usual, of course, but unique. Forum Post wasn't very popular, but he uses it anyways. Similar to his red browser, Zarvidnet. Very obscure choices, but he likes them. Focusing back on what Nico is actually doing, though, it looks like there's been some activity on Forum Post. Ah, but hold on. There were some private messages to deal with first. Hey Nico. What's up, Marco? Oh my god, you're finally here. Hold on. Did something happen or what? Yeah, you could say that. Did you see the post about our fates? Please explain. Okay, well, some weird user simply known as The World posted about how we're all going to be gone soon and that we should all be prepared. Like, I know this sounds fake as hell, but I'm spooked about it either way. Yeah, okay, dude. First of all, you're like addicted to conspiracy theories and whatever. Second of all, this is probably just a prank by Daniel or something. Fuck Daniel, but I don't think it's him. He hasn't done anything actually professional like this. Honestly, I don't believe what the post is implying, but the fact that it's happening in such a small community like ours is suspicious. There's what, 21 of us? It could be some sort of prank, but I doubt it. There's that number again. Wait a minute. Why does that number 21 feel important? Where have I heard that number before? It's not earlier in the story. I'm talking about how many tarot cards are there?
How many, sorry?
How many of the major arcana are there?
Oh, 22? Oh, hold on a second. I think there's like 21 and then the Fool. Hold on.
And then the Fool.
Because from that one thing that I...
There are 22 of these trump cards found in a 78 card deck. The cards start at 0 and are numbered to 21. Interesting. Is this a coincidence? Maybe. Okay, what does everyone else think about it? Everyone thinks it's just a prank, and I haven't been able to reach Cecilia yet, but she's probably getting out soon if you are. Honestly, I'm inclined to believe you. If I had a nickel for every time you were wrong about something, I'd be in debt. Wait. That doesn't make sense. Negative money.
That's what I said exactly when I read that.
Thanks, I guess. I still feel like something is wrong. It's like, if I had a nickel for every time you were wrong about something, I'd be broke. Thanks, I guess. I'd still feel like something is wrong, but it's not like we can do anything about it anyway. I have to do some things now. Talk to you later. Okay, bye, Marco. End of vlog. Nico pushes back away from his desk a bit. This so-called post is interesting to say. Is it a prank, or is it real? He sighed and looked out his window, then back at his laptop. He decided to see this mystery post. He clicks to the main page to be greeted with the post in question. The beginning of the end is coming, with the title. How dramatic. As Marco said, the user was The World, which is dramatic as well. One could even say pretentious. It's the end of the world. It's the end of this user. The actual details of the post were similar to how he said it as well. Nico looked skeptical. He did say Marco was always right, but it wasn't extensive. It was very vague and mysterious, and lacked any sort of details that would even make it plausible. Nico looked at replies. Everyone really did think it was a prank. Nico typed out a reply too, but he hesitated. He typed just a few things, but deleted them soon after. Eventually, he just gave up on the idea. Not responding to everything is a good idea in the long run. Nico decided to message another user. It was a boring day, but it wasn't going to stay that way. He checked the users page. There was only 21 users, so all of them were just listed out. He scrolled, and he clicked. Hey, Cecilia. Silica. Hey, Silica. Hi, what's up? Nothing much. Did you see that weird post? Oh, shoot, you mean the one by The World? Yeah. Yeah, I saw it. I don't know. Sounds like a prank. Marco thinks otherwise, actually. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about it. Of course he thinks that. Marco's actually addicted to aliens and ARGs. And what the fuck is an ARG?
No idea.
True. So how you doing? Pretty good, actually. My day was boring, but after hearing about the mysterious post, I'm actually feeling pretty pumped. Oh, that's nice. Suddenly, a knock was heard. Nico looked outside the window to see who was there. A mysterious person was standing at the front door. He was wearing a lot of black, looked generally suspicious. Nico turned around, back to his laptop. Hold on, someone was at the door. Oh, okay. End of log. Now he turned his attention back to his mystery visitor. Looking out the window, Nico inspected the person yet again. Definitely suspicious. How could they not be? He turned and sat down on his bed. It's clear his parents weren't home, so he had to deal with this by himself. But what should he do? Safety should be prioritized over anything else. Logically, if there's no way he should answer the door to a complete stranger. Everything society has taught him about what to do in a situation is basically don't answer the door. No matter what, don't answer the door. Absolutely not. Horrible idea. Oh god, he's walking towards the front door. Nico walks towards the door. You already said that. But he wasn't that much of an idiot. He was sweating and clearly nervous. This was a bad idea. He could just turn back, but that would be cowardly. And also the smart thing to do. As a teenager, well, maybe that was a bit too complex an idea for him. It was in front of the door. His hand reaches out to the front door knob and he opens the door. Standing in front of him is nothing. The figure must have left, but hold on. Nico looks a bit, sleepy. He fell on the ground. Unconscious. Intermission 1. XVII, which is 17? Number 17 was slightly confused. He knew what was going on to be happening to his assignment, but the circumstances weren't exactly what he expected. He looked over to the camera monitors yet again and showed the stranger standing behind him now. He obviously could see this as soon as Nico walked down the stairs, but he wanted to keep his writing a little tense. There wasn't any harm in that, just good fun. He looked over what he had written. Any spelling mistakes or grammatical errors that he found were fixed. A bit of pride radiated from him. He thought no one else could possibly do a better job than him. He was a little disappointed that he couldn't accurately say for sure how his assignment was actually feeling, or what they were thinking, so he had to use vague visual clues and his own imagination to fill the blanks. He relaxed a bit. The atmosphere was a lot less tense as he shifted his focus away from the screens he was staring at. Having that small bit of time to relax was nice, but eventually he has to get back to work. He doesn't know how long it would actually take though, but he has to be sure that he doesn't miss anything important, so he just stays there on the office chair. He wonders though. Not much happened with Nico. In fact, he thought him to be really boring. Number 17 stands up. He stretches a bit, still in thought. Surely some of his other friends had more to see with their missions. Number 18 walked into her room. Like all the other rooms, it was spacious, at least for a living space. The aesthetic was nearly identical to the main room. The room was dark, black, and frankly depressing. It was a bedroom, but there was also a workstation at the end of the room. This workstation was to be used for her mission, which she had to do pretty soon, so she walked over and sat down. The workstation was comparable to an office space. It had a large desk, a comfortable chair, and also had an unusual layout. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's the same paragraph.
This is literally the same fucking...
So when Derry said that some of the words didn't count, I assume that this is what he meant.
Yeah, because it's just the same fucking paragraph. It's like a... Date unknown. Assignment Silicon Make. Mustless. I do not know what to say what it to exactly say right here. It feels weird to be finally starting my mission, but I suppose this riff-raff garbage talk about myself should not be included. My apologies. Okay, that's absolutely great. Actually, I wonder. I'm actually gonna look up what number 17 is. Number 17 is the star.
Ooh. And 18?
Is the moon.
So yeah, it was definitely on purpose.
Uh. So it doesn't. Wikipedia doesn't actually list what it means.
Okay, I'm here. So I have a page here. So the star is the embodiment of hope and healing. She's a calming influence that brings messages of renewal, optimism, and inspiration. I don't know how that was at all related to that chapter. The moon card is a great connected to your subconscious. It represents the thoughts, feelings, doubts, and fears that you carry internally.
Oh! I just saw what number 21 was. It's the world.
Yeah.
So
that's
maybe I should
also
start.
totally-
So maybe I should actually treat the numbering as if it started at 1 instead of 0, in which case it would be number 16, which is the tower.
But the title of the 17 number 17's mission or whatever was the star, and now the title of this one is the moon. Which I have no idea how the descriptions relate to that.
I'm not sure. It's very weird. Because if it's 1 through 21, it would be the magician through the fool through the world, and the fool would be ignored because he's
Yeah.
0.
Maybe the fool and the world kind of switched places.
Chapter 2, the moon. Okay. This is the moon. She's number 18.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, chapter 1, the star. The star.
Mm-hmm.
The star is female. In the Tarot.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know how the cards actually connect to the people.
I'm not sure either. Evan Dean's mission! Exclamation point. Okay. Silica is my assignment, and she is an interesting case. Her room was extremely nice and decorated to an extreme extent. She clearly cares about aesthetics and designed a room that looked simply cozy. The walls were painted a nice lilac, with most of the room being themed around the light purple color. Her house in general was large and comfy. Her parents easily had lots of money to spend on the house, and her aesthetic ventures probably very wealthy. The money was well spent, though. The nice wood floor with the high black ceilings culminated into a spacious room for all sorts of possibilities. In the corner of the room contained a small place for her to play her instrument of choice, baritone saxophone. Right beside her was an area. That area was her walk-in closet, further emphasizing the fact that her family was filthy rich. Her bed was in the corner, but this still left a lot of area in the middle for practically nothing. She had a large deck at the back of her room, which allowed the left side to be her computer and the other side for whatever. The left side of the room was some sort of lounge. There was a black leather couch and a coffee table with a thin, sleek, and expensive laptop on top of it. It was truly envious. Silica herself was spent standing in her bedroom. She just got back home from school after riding in a limousine with a chauffeur and a fine champagne as well. Well, hold the fuck up. A fine champagne? She's in school. She can't drink alcohol. Okay, that's probably not the case, but it would not be surprising if it was. Actually, it would be surprising, because she can't drink. She's too young to drink. She simply walks towards her computer doing her regular business. She hasn't checked her favorite website all day, so might as well to see if anything is new. She opens up her favorite website browser, Saltimus. Then opens up forum post. She briefly glances over the interesting things and finally sets her eyes on an interesting post. It was a post about the beginning of the end. She looks very confused. She skimmed the replies. Most of everyone just thought it was a prank. Silica herself posted a reply, perhaps a bit bad taste, but she might as well reply. She typed something along the lines of confusion. It was fine. She went back to the main page to maybe talk to someone. Perhaps a new string of conversation would prove to be useful. She was about to do this when a certain user seemed to have the same idea. Same... Wait. Hey, Silica. Hey, what's up? This conversation happened earlier. Hold on. Someone's at the door. Oh, okay. You still there? Hello? It was like that normal... Hold up. Wait a minute. So this log is being written from the perspective of a different person than last chapter.
Yeah.
How does she know?
So this is like, this kind of breaks immersion because the story happened in the story, like for us the readers, but it still shouldn't have been there the entire conversation, especially since he was fine copy pasting that entire paragraph.
Yeah. Apparently this. Oh no, he can't copy paste that.
Yeah.
It seems that normal whatever could not get back to her. Perhaps they had some tea with his visitor. Silica decides for communication and socializing anyway. She decides for original target before she was interrupted. Junie! I told you not to call that Silica. Silica. June is just fine. How are you? I'm doing great. I just talked to Nico about the weird world post. Ah, yes, the thing. It sounds truly unruly. I do not like it. I know, right? I think it's complete bogus, but apparently, like, Nico and Marco don't think so. Hilarious. I love to gossip, but I think we shouldn't give this whole thing any attention. Smart. It'll just fuel the fire for any prankster to get validation. Exactly. And the community at this point is at a tipping point. I feel as if something controversial happens again. Well, big boom drama blamo. I agree. Although, if I am being entirely honest, sometimes I do enjoy the drama. The dramatic effects and intricate social circles. It is all fascinating to me. Perhaps this is a romanticized view, but I like it regardless. Perhaps I'd enjoy it more if it weren't for Daniel. You give him too much flack. Maybe Daniel's the fool.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You give him too much flack. Objectively speaking, he has not done many things wrong. Perhaps a few things, and maybe a bit of a jerk, but I think some of the hates he gets is uncalled for and lead to some of the dangerous conflicts. You're right, but he just sucks so much. Yeah, my reasonable side hates him too. Yes, you should use your reasonable side more. I prefer objectivity. I hate this whole suicide judicial shtick going on, and this is the sort of thing that the law loves. It's a cute thing to follow, to be honest. I think you should just do yourself and, like, be who you want to be, or whatever dumb, cheesy thing I'm supposed to say. Well, I'm going to do what I want, regardless of what you tell me, but I appreciate the encouragement. No problem. That's what besties are for, okay? So adorable when you do those hearts. I do not do it often, so you better be glad for the times it does. Oh yeah, heck yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad about that, I suppose. Suddenly, a little beep was heard. That was her security system. It informed her of anyone that was approaching the doorstop to her house. She was not very tech savvy, but she was bright and thought it to be an appropriate addition. The camera showed two strange figures in all black outfits, and she could not see their faces for whatever reason. The angle was just not right. Nevertheless, it raised some alarms in her head. What the hell were they doing? She decided to transform to super serious mode. She was still a bit shocked, but the adrenaline was kicking in, and honestly, it looked pretty exciting. Oh shoot, gotta blast here. Bye. Oh, right, yeah. Farewell, Silica. After that was dealt with, now she can focus on the visitors. She looked at the camera once again. She found that the men were gone, and that the door had been completely destroyed. Wood laying around the door frame. Freak out time. She had now audibly heard the footsteps coming towards her location. More freak out. She did not want to make any noise, so she slowly and quietly dragged her coach in front of the door to somehow protect it. But she knew deep down that this was not a working idea. Therefore,
Hello.
What? Hello?
iPhones is here.
Therefore, the bright silicon Mazalist chose to hide away from her assailants. She chose her closet and wrapped herself around the multiple shirts and dresses she was surrounded by. A slight ringing sound was heard. She did not know what it was, but it felt close by. Silica looked defeated at this point. There was no way she was getting out of this. Absolutely not. But It is not the Masilla's name. No. In fact, she wanted to be the greatest in her family. She cannot give up now. There was way too much to lose. So therefore, she stood up to think of an ingenious plan, and then it hit her. It literally hit her. She fell down with the thud, completely unconscious. You know, I was wondering why that baseball was getting bigger and bigger. And then it hit me.
That's... I won't say overused.
Chapter 3, The Star 2. Number 17's mission, assignment Nico. Nico woke up to pain and misery. His mind was flooded with questions. Of course it would be. He couldn't remember anything. He looked to see that he woke up in a bed. Not very comfortable, but it works. The room he was in had concrete walls and a concrete floor and ceiling. To his left were iron bars. It was very similar to a prison. He then panicked. He couldn't remember anything, but he knew that he probably was kidnapped. His life would be forever changed. There was no way it wasn't. He had a moment of complete distress. Perhaps it lasted a minute or maybe several, but eventually he gained his composure back. This was a scary situation. Freaking out will not help at all. He looked in front of him. There was a screen? On the wall opposite from him, there was a screen embedded on the wall. Right in front of that, there was a table with a keyboard and mouse. This was confusing. Nico looked at the actual screen itself. It was the forum page post. How intriguing. It wasn't on an actual web browser, so he couldn't access anything else. He got up from the bed and walked over to the table. He couldn't have seen it from the angle he was at before, but there was a small stool to sit on. Interesting. Another object he couldn't see was a letter sitting neatly on the table. He opened up a rush, tearing through the paper and leaving a broken mark. What appeared was a string of random numbers and letters and numbers. Strange. He left it on the desk and sat down on the stool. Looking at the screen, he evaluated his choices. Well, it was forum post. He could possibly just talk to someone. The interface was just like the original forum post, so he got around no problem. Because it was. He looked for Marco on the user page and clicked his name. It said he was online. Marco? I'm in the prison too. Oh my god. I don't know what to do. I'm scared as hell here, but I figured a few things as well. I talked to a few others regarding this whole game. Do you see the door to your prison? Nico turned his head and found that there was indeed a prison door on the wall to his left. Yeah. It's not locked. Silica managed to unlock hers through, I don't even know, but she did it and managed to unlock the rest. In fact, I am not in my cell right now. I managed to pick up some weird cell phone they had. Wow, you're still typing flawlessly with a phone. Impressive. Anyway, once you leave there should be an exit sign. You can follow that to meet with us. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'll be there. What a development for Nico. The door wasn't fucking locked. He stood up and tried opening his door. Completely unlocked. He grabbed the code in his letter, might prove to be useful, and then walked out into the hallway. The hallway was filled with many prison cells. It looked exactly like one anyway. The exit sign pointed to his left and was pretty close anyway. He walked towards the exit. His face was one of determination. Okay? The exit was a hallway that turned up to the right so that he couldn't see what was up ahead. He walked straight forward towards the exit. No reason to prolong anything. The lights around him were flickering. It wasn't too bad, but it made everything slightly scarier. Turning around the corner, he sees a very long hallway. Down the hallway, he can see his friends forum posts. He recognizes Marco and Silica and some others. He counted 1, 2, 3, 18, 19, and 20. He was the last one. They all joined up when he saw a door with a passcode. Everyone was silent as he raised his letter up. He was about to punch the code in, but suddenly footsteps rang in the tight hallway. All of them turned around. They all saw a man. But that wasn't a man. No, it was a horrible, horrible creature. The end. Wait, Nico ponders. Why did everyone go back into the prison cell room? Oh, while you were thinking of doing something dumb and stupid, I went back and called them back, said Marek. And that's how Marek got his name capitalized. The end. Oh my fucking god! What? I was planning a lot more to do with the story, but I got really strapped for time as always. Oh well, I'm happy that I actually tried this time. Note that if I had more time, most of the third chapter would not be canon, obviously. Oh my gosh! It's just like, take all of the plot that you've built up and just throw it right in the garbage.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hold up. I gotta do something real quick.
Right.
I'm gonna.
It's so ridiculous, but by the time you get there, you just can't help but laugh.
Oh my gosh. It's perfect.
This is exactly how you end the story.
Let's see. It is right. Where did I put it?
What?
Oh, you'll see. There it is. Actually, you won't see because I'm doing. You won't hear.
Time.
There we go.
Well, I don't see nor hear anything.
Well, I'm playing Merrick time.
Oh! Oh, I hear it now on the stream. Okay. I turned on the volume just to... If this was a song, it would just be something completely different, mysterious, dark sort of thing, and then just...
Absolutely brilliant. Okay, enough of that. That's hilarious. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Dinner should be done right about 5 minutes ago. I'm starving, and I'm getting headache. So I need to take a break. I'm thinking I take a break for basically to eat, and then I'll inform you when I am done.
Alright, just DM me then, and I'll DM you if I'm there too.
Okay.
Bye.
Of course. Yep, alright, cool.